Yeah. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's just
Because it's
beautiful.
a D.
Yeah.
It's, the only other lake I've seen of that color is Lake Superior.
Uh,
Same thing.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, when we go to the other, is this going to be the calmest district? I thought this was the rowdiest district. Good morning. See, we even made the burritos bigger today. I want to call to order the New Mexico State Transportation Commission meeting on July 20th at approximately 8:40. We're getting some feedback. Let the record show that 4 commissioners are present and a quorum has been established. May I get a roll call?
Here.
Here.
Mr. Tate. Oh, here.
And with that, can I have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Franklin, where are you? We're going to have Franklin, who's just retired at the end of June, and we're going to have him do the Pledge of Allegiance. This could be his last time unless he shows up to a meeting again.
You need the words.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everybody. We'd like to go ahead and invite Oliver and Jody to do a prayer for us. After we do the prayer, we'll go ahead and do a song for you guys, and you guys can open up your meeting. Oliver?
Good morning.
Good morning.
As I walked in, I seen a lot of smiling faces. Everybody's looking good, and then when the gavel sounded, everybody. So, I just like to see faces like that, and just keep it up like that, regardless. It sends some good vibes into what you guys are doing, and welcome. Welcome here, and hopefully from the flag man all the way up to the front office, that we're all here. So, bigay going down chikisan, Houston. But I go see, kiro na hai hanjuna go na hai na atai. Kiro da ko juna na ra si sati kiro go juna go dasa kiro da re ti go juga kiro juga na no khagware kiro juga dara asnesti kiro juga dara sun thago kiro dasa hu kha kon tindo na hasitin na hana hai wan na dara re in tin yusen dasa kiro na hana ra chia kiro juga bilanu khagwate ko kiro na zai juga na nasa kesin jugo na indai hin jugo guaro kero shichene do bitago junego bana tsara kes gote di kero be indago ate di kero na stago junego kero juno rasnes igo kero juno ndasa be hukha gehen
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Pascal Njadi. I'm from here from Mescalero, and I'm honored to be here to sing a song for you guys here from the homelands of Mescalero. I know you guys spend a lot of time traveling, literally traveling, and I thank you guys very much for coming here to Mescalero. I hope you enjoy our song for this morning. It's a social song. It's a happy song that we have some good times here, and what we're asking for is this place right here, this period is of good times, of good thoughts, of good nature. But thank you guys very much. Welcome to Mescalero. Hope you guys enjoyed the song.
Thank you. It's very much appreciated that you took the time to come here this morning. On behalf of the commission, we wish you well. We can continue with the agenda. We're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. Fellow commissioners, you've had a chance to review it. Is there any changes? Is there any deletions, comments? If not, what is the pleasure of the commission?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I have a motion from Commissioner Chenoweth. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Tanji. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. We'll go on to the approval of minutes for the regular meeting of May 18th, 2023. Is there any comments, changes? If not, what is the pleasure of the commission? I have a motion from Commissioner Taylor to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Chenoweth. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously. We'll now go on to introductions. And just to let you know that if you haven't signed in, there's a sign-in sheet. And if you want to come up and so you can be recognized, or if you want to come up and say something when we get to the public comment. So with that, I will turn it over to Secretary Serna.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Good morning. It's a pleasure to see such a large group. I want to thank Mescalero Apache Tribe leadership for allowing us to use their space, for their hospitality over the last couple of days. I think we've all had a really good time. I also want to make a note first, Mr. Chairman, to thank the village of Ruidoso for lending. Do I gotta move closer? Is that better? Do I have to start all over again?
Tell him no.
I did want to make I had a note to thank a few individuals, the first being the Mescalero Apache Tribe, Inn of the Mountain Gods, for allowing us to use this space today, and for their hospitality. We've been here for the past couple of days. Yesterday the commission had a workshop, and we achieved a lot, accomplished a lot, and we've had a great time here, and the hospitality has been second to none. We also want to thank the village of Ruidoso for allowing us to use their space yesterday for our workshop. There again, hospitality was great. We hope we left it clean enough for you. If not, let us know, and we'll head back before we skip town. I also want to thank Eddie County, hosted a reception for commission and staff from the DOT last night. That too was really great, so we appreciate your generosity, and that was a great dinner. Thanks for doing that. We do have a number of elected officials here, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that I want to introduce. From Portales, there are a couple of gentlemen, commissioners. We have Mr. Jake Lopez and Dennis Lopez, both county commissioners from Roosevelt County and Portales. If you'll just stand, I know you'd like to speak, and we'll just recognize you now, but thank you for being here. We also have a commissioner from the county of Lincoln, Samantha Serna. Are you here? Are we related, Samantha? Good to see you. We'll trace the family tree. Mark Garwood is a trustee from Otero County in Tula Rosa. Mark, are you here? Mark, good morning. Thanks for being here. And then we have a project manager from Hobbs, John. I'm sorry, John, I'm not getting the last name. Are you here? John, good morning. Pleasure to meet you. And then, of course, with Mescalero Apache Tribal Council here in Otero County, Kevin Marilyn Blaylock. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you again. And with that, Mr. Chair, we do have individuals who have signed up for public comment, but I'll save that for later and move on to introductions for DOT staff. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Any others, please? Okay. Good morning. Thank you again. All right. So I commented earlier that our table of NMDOT staff is growing by the meeting. So I'll just kind of go in order by district. So we have in District 1, Aaron Chavarria. Good morning. District 2, Francisco Sanchez. It's your district. You guys should be cheering for him. There you go. Make him feel special. All right, D3, Justin Gibson. Our new district engineer, whom you met yesterday, Adam Romero. D5, Paul Brasher. And last but certainly not least, Lisa Vega in District 6. Coming back over here to our end, we have our general counsel, Steve Hamilton. Next to him is our buddy and partner at FHWA, Cindy Vigu.
Good morning.
And then our deputy secretaries, Deputy Secretary Jessica Cooper and Trent Doolittle. Big group. That's all for now, Commissioner. And then, of course, if you haven't already seen by now, a pretty good contingency from District 2. So if you are working out of District 2, stand up and get your kudos for all the work you do. I like it. I like it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I just like to say that when this commission came in, it was our intent, number one, to give the credit where credit goes. And that's with the people that we have working in the field, in the offices, at the GO, at every district. Because an organization is only as good as its employees. And I can proudly say that I think the employees here at NMDOT are the best anywhere. They are willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, to serve the public, to be safe. And that's why we invite every district that we go to, and we go around the state, we encourage the districts to send as many personnel here as they can, because it's not our meeting, it's your meeting. And we want you to see how things are, but we're appreciative and we thank each and every one of you for the job not only you do today, but the job you do every day. And so with that, it's our honor and our privilege to be before you today. And at any time that you have a question, feel free to ask it. We might not answer it, but feel free to ask it, okay? And with that, we're going to continue, but make yourselves at home. There's coffee, burritos, whatever. And like I said, this is your meeting, and we appreciate everything you do. So with that, I think all we have left is commission. We'll start with the, I also want to let you know that we have we had a commissioner that represented District 2, and that was Bruce Ellis, and we have him up here today. Unfortunately, he retired. He had to do had other things that were pending, and now we brought on Gary Tanji, and he's excited and ready to do some things, and he's here to support you guys. He's here to support the district. And I can honestly say that Francisco, we get nothing but compliments on him. He's a public servant at its best, and he cares about employees, and we hear nothing but good things. And so with that, we want to thank Mr. Alice for the job that he did, and we're going to recognize him later, but it was an honor to have him sit here with us one more time, and so that's why he's here. So I will start.
Getting the chair is still warm.
So with that, we're going to introduce ourselves. I'll start with Commissioner Tanji.
Good morning. My name is Gary Tonjes, and I'm thrilled to be up here with the rest of these folks. My district is District 2. Delighted for that. Spectacularly diverse district, and excited about the team and everybody I've met so far. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Hilma Chinowith. I am the Commissioner for District 3, which is Central New Mexico. It includes the I-40 and I-25, the Big I, as well as the more urban areas of the state. And I'm so happy to have the opportunity to come down to Ruidoso and to stay at the Inn of the Mountain Gods, which is where I spent my first wedding anniversary. So good times. Thank you.
My name is Walter Adams. Some of you know me. I worked with you when I was here. I started with the DOT in 1977 till I retired. And I'm from District 4, and as of today, still young, I'm a Raider fan. We'll see how the season goes, but if I come back, we'll see if I'm still with the Raiders. So hopefully I will be. Commissioner?
Good morning, Commissioner Tom Taylor. I'm from Farmington. That's about 40 miles from the Four Corners, where the states of Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico come together. It's great to be in this part of the state. You know, it's a long ways from home, still in the same state. And it's always great to travel down to this beautiful spot. I haven't been here in a while, and looking forward to spending a little time here after this meeting is over, watching some of the views. So thank you.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to go on to welcoming remarks, and I think the Secretary already thanked a lot of people. Do we have Lisa Sandoval and Candice Varela here? Are you here? Can you come over here? want to, on behalf of the commission, we want to thank you for all your efforts yesterday and for your hospitality and for being so courteous, polite, and so energetic and fun and all that good stuff. So we just want you to know that we appreciate you and thanks for all you do. Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
And then, again, we want to thank Eddie County and King Enterprises for the reception and for, I think, lunch yesterday and breakfast. So we want to thank you for that. And we want to thank the Rio Doso for the hospitality that they show every time that we come here in District 2. And so the commission really enjoys coming down here. We try to go to a different district every meeting. And so hopefully we will be back. We also want to thank the village yesterday for lending us that facility. We had a meeting yesterday, and we want to thank all the participants. There was a lot of knowledge that was gained yesterday, a lot of information that went by, and I'm going to give some rough numbers, but just for information, right now we have about 82 or 83 projects ongoing for like $1.3 billion around the state. And I think that's very, very impressive. And on that note, I would like to ask you and your families and your friends and your communities that when we come into your areas to do work, that you be patient with us and that you observe the signs and that you are safe, because we have our people working there and contractor people working there, and it's not worth having one accident or anything out there. But be patient, because we'll be in and out as quick as possible, and we will make that road safer for all of you. And so with that, before I continue, have you guys heard that song, I Left My Heart in San Francisco? Well, I just want you guys to know I left my wallet there at the casino last night, so if anybody finds it, return it. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go on, and I'm going to have Chris Little from the Mescalero Apache Tribe Public Work Director come up.
We're going to speak to the important people, the guys that are on the ground. So I'd just like to welcome everybody to Mescalero. I'm glad you guys picked this area to come and visit and host your meeting. I'm going to introduce Owen Little. He's the chairperson of the committee of the programs committee. That's the one I report to. Marilyn Blaylock, councilwoman, and Idella Starr, councilwoman. So these are the individuals that I report to with projects that I have to submit and stuff and go forward on. One of the things, I just kind of wanted to see if we had 3 individuals, if they can come up, then we're going to talk a little bit. These guys want to talk a little bit too, and kind of give some kudos to some individuals and Tularosa. I really appreciate the Tularosa Patrol of all the work they've done, especially during the snow season. They're always there helping out, fencing, helping out with the floods. So we really appreciate you guys. We seem to work good together when the floods come. We don't care whose equipment's on that road, as long as that road gets cleaned and it's safe to drive on. So I think we got a good working relationship with Tularosa. I really appreciate all you guys' help and all you guys' effort. So all the kudos to them. So if we can have Francisco, Libby, and Lewis come up. Oh, you guys can talk, then I'll get them for you guys. You guys can stand up here. Owen wants to talk a little bit and stuff that's going on, and Marilyn and Idella will talk a little bit. Then we got some things for you guys, and like I said, I'll finish off with the final words and stuff. But let these guys talk,
Owen. Good morning. Like Chris said, my name's Owen Little, and I'm in charge of the programs committee chair, and also on council. And it is, really good to work with Chris. He's really outgoing. And if you haven't met him, get to know him. he's out there finding projects to do, trying to find funding, trying to, you know, get things back in shape around here. And he has been doing a lot of work with the roads, and he has, like Chula Rosa, he works with other people to try to get things done. And we are, you know, in a place where weather changes a lot, and there's a lot of diversity in the roads up here. And like we talked with Pete Buttigieg up in Albuquerque, I didn't realize, but Highway 70 is at an elevation of 7,800 feet. And that's drastic weather changes that we go through, you know, from the way the asphalt moves around changes, and equipment going through, all that has to do with you guys. And you guys all do a good job in, you know, supporting Chris and supporting everything around the area. It's a big job you guys do, and I'm proud of you guys to, you know, go out there and do the job. But yes, Chris has done a really good job here, and wanted to thank you all for that. And we also had our little 150-year commemorative for the reservation being established. And we had a blessing run that went from Fort Stanton to here, and it was one of those really rushed things to get done. And Chris was able to help out to get the permits to get that run from there to here done. And that's something to see. You know, you guys bend over backwards to get this thing done for us. But we got that done, and you guys helped us out a lot too with, you know, support and funding, and I want to thank you all for that. But it's a big job, because, you know, like I said, I'm part of projects, and we have to help Chris, you know, do his job, and by approving all his grant process and stuff like that. But it's good to work with someone like that, and I hope you guys all have someone like Chris out there too to help you out. But thank you for all that, and I would like to give you guys all a coin if you're all willing to take one. Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I really appreciate what Chris has been doing. He's been doing a lot of work for us and with us, and thank you to these people here as well. You know, with us not working together, things will not get done, you know, and it takes a lot of communication, and Chris is really good at that. He's on us, you know, and we're on him as well. But it really works, and I thank you all for being here. Welcome to Mescalero. Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank all of you all for being here. Welcome to Mescalero. The projects that were funded from DOT, I really appreciate what you guys have done for us. And also, piggybacking off of Mr. Little's comment about 150th anniversary that the tribe had, I really want to extend my thanks to Louis, Libby, and Francisco, because if it wasn't for their hard work to get this passed for us, then we wouldn't have had our run from Fort Stanton, which back then was a part of the reservation. So we wanted to incorporate that within our celebration, because the reservation at that time was extended out to Fort Stanton. So that was one of the reasons why we really wanted that we wanted that activity to be a part of our celebration. And again, I want to thank you three for really helping our tribe out very much. For the rest of you that are here, that, you know, I want to extend my thanks to the Chula Rosa District, especially when we're having the flooding. You know, our community, the safety of our residents here is vital. And so for those of you that extend yourselves, that come out here to help us, you know, go beyond, I really appreciate your help. I want to welcome you all again here to Mescalero, and thank you all.
So I just like to go ahead and finish off and kind of say, like, I've only been in this program for 5 years, and I came from a forestry background. And so there's a lot of things that I've learned very fast and very quick. And like I said, under Mr. Sanchez's leadership, Tom, and Libby's grant help and the permit system with Lewis, they taught me a lot. I learned a lot, learned quickly, learned fast, and I was able to call these individuals and ask for that help and support. And that truly means something to me as a tribal member, that I can reach out to other people, that they can help us out, and they're willing to put forth an effort to help the tribe out. It's not only helping me, but it's helping the community of Mescalero. Highway 70 is part of your guys' responsibilities and stuff like that. So I really, really appreciate the efforts you guys put. I know I've had long conversations with Libby about our grants and long conversations with Lewis, pulling my hair out. It's okay, Lewis. But I really appreciate you guys on the grant stuff and really helping us out, because it does mean a lot that when the tribe can get this type of funding to help improve our infrastructure. So if you can pass that on up to the governor, that we as a tribe really appreciate all the support and help that she's given us. Under Francisco, I met him before. He was the District 2 engineer right before I came on board. And one of the projects that he came up to me was, before I move on, I want to get this done. And it was putting the camera up at Apache Summit. And it took a little coordination and communications with the tribal council. He got to go into visit with our tribal council, and we got it up. And that was coordination, and that's the stuff that I like to see. And I think as we move forward into the future, I think it's going to get better with the communications. I've always said, if we don't have good communications between our partnerships, nothing's going to happen. Nothing will happen. We'll just be bumping heads and going in circles. And I really appreciate your guys' effort and everything you guys done. Like I said, I cannot express thank you for Tularosa Patrol for all the help you guys do. I mean, you guys really deserve a lot of credit, and I hope you guys get them something, a Rudy's dinner or something, a lunch. I think they really deserve it. If you guys don't get it, let me know. I'll be more than happy to make that run to Rudy's, just because of all your hard work you guys do for us. I really, really want to say I appreciate. And on top of that, we got a couple gifts for you guys, for your guys' dedication, hard work for the tribe, and we really, really appreciate it. Lewis is my man. All the arguments. Thank you for your hard work. The man of the hour.
Get the shortest person.
And again, thank you guys. That's all we have, and we really appreciate all you guys' hard work. Thule, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, and we really appreciate it. And you said one word that I just want to really, really concentrate on, and that's partnerships, and that's what it is. The commission, our districts, our DOT, everybody at DOT partnering with entities, with tribes, with whoever it is, to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make the roads as safe and pleasant as possible. Thank you for taking the time to come in today, and thank you for recognizing the people you did, and thank you for the coins. We appreciate it. Thank you. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to public comment.
Mr. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just wanted to recognize some people that walked in late. Ron Sena, he's the village manager. Is he here? Yeah. Okay, and village counselor, Dr. Gary Jackson. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we do have a handful of individuals who'd like to speak during public comment. I'll start with Douglas Bowman. Mr. Bowman is the Chief of Police in Texaco.
Welcome, and thank you for attending our meeting today.
Thank you, sir. You come up? All right. Mr. Chair, Commission, thank you very much for your time today. I am Douglas Bowman, Chief of Police, Texaco Police Department. Today, welcoming me is my bodyguard and City Clerk of Texaco, Connie Harrison. We wanted to visit with you today about the proposed overpass in Texaco and Farwell. I don't know how familiar you folks are with it. Francisco's very familiar with it. They've come up with an option 1 and an option 2. Texaco is wholeheartedly against option 1. That overpass is going to be a devastating blow to the economic growth and well-being of Texaco. Have any of y'all been able to see the maps or the video of what they have proposed? Okay. Just to give you a little perspective, the overpass is going to come over the tracks at the state line between Texas and New Mexico, and it's going to go all the way through town to State Road 108. It is going to wipe out every business and every residence on the south side of our highway. That is 3 businesses. It is going to wipe out our Public Works Department for the city of Texaco. It's going to wipe out 10 residences. It's going to take out all 3 railroad crossings in the city of Texaco. That is going to hinder public safety response to the citizens on the south side of our town, as well as the south side of Farwell, by 20 minutes or greater. Folks in that area in Texas that are proposing this, they don't care what it's going to do to us. Certain people around the area don't care because they want to get to Lubbock quicker. I've been chief of police of that community for 15 years. October 1, I can retire with 25 years of service. Yeah, I may be walking away pretty soon, but I still care about the folks of this community and the impact it's going to have on them. The people I spoke about that live in those residences on the south side of the highway, they're elderly, low income, and they can't go anywhere else. Option 2 is an option that will be solely in Texas, solely funded by Texas, and it won't misplace anybody in the city of Texaco, and as far as I can tell, it won't misplace anybody in the city of Farwell in Texas. It's a very valuable option. We went to the Railroad Committee Board meeting this week. They had no idea the impact that this was going to have until we visited with them. And after visiting with them, they're on board with option 2 if there's any way we can push that. Our city council, our mayor, we're representing them at this time, is all for option 2, and they will be doing a resolution supporting option 2 and opposing option 1. We're just here looking for support that y'all will help our community in any way we can to push option 2 on that Texas side.
Okay.
You have any questions for me, or?
Thank you for your comments. This is Highway 60,
Yes, sir.
and that's the grade separation at rail?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Gotcha.
Okay. And just real quick, I would like to thank Francisco. I've dealt with him for the last few years since he took over, and there hasn't been a time he has not answered an email or a phone call that I've sent to him, and your guys on the ground in that area. Every time I call them, case in point, they were there within an hour yesterday repairing some highway signs for us, so I can't say enough of what they do.
One more question. And the homes impacted, are they going to be impacted as part of right-of-way acquisition?
Correct.
On that option? Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Well, on behalf of the commission, we rely on what's being done out on the field from our staff, and they go out there and they evaluate everything, so they'll continue to work, and we'll continue to communicate with them, and hopefully we can get to a place where it's a win-win for everybody.
Right.
So I would encourage you to continue to work with Francisco and Trent and Rick and see where we're at and how we're going.
Well, we just wanted our voice heard today and make sure you folks were aware, because I know being in
No,
certain parts
and
of the
that's
state,
what
you're
the-
not aware of what's going on.
And that's what these meetings are for.
Right.
And that's why we come into communities, is so that you have a voice, because you do have a voice,
That's right.
and we will listen, and we appreciate you being here today, and we appreciate your concerns and comments.
Thank you. Did you have
Thank
anything else
you.
I need to hit on? Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we have next on the list Mr. Jake Lopez, and he's a commissioner from Portales. And I think he's going to be joined by Dennis Lopez. Is that accurate? All right, and also a counselor from Portales.
I don't know, I'm thinking that I should put this mic this way so I can address the people here and address you guys here.
Whatever.
Whatever you guys
And
think.
on behalf of the commission, we welcome you both.
And you know what? I was going to say the same thing. Thank you guys for having us. It's a pleasure and it's an honor. Mr. Cabinet Secretary, members of the board, all these folks right here that work diligently to do so good for our communities. I don't know if I should give a shout out to Francisco. He's gotten a lot of attention today. He really has. But actually, I'm here on behalf of the Roosevelt County Commission. I'm District 1 Roosevelt County Commissioner, and I got the verbal consent from my fellow commissioners and from our county manager. I spoke with them throughout the week, and one of the main reasons that I was here and that I am here, well, several reasons, is I wanted to actually recognize Francisco for being so diligent, for having that open door policy, for doing so much, so having a listening ear. He does so much for our community that it's unbelievable. So I would really, really like to recognize him on behalf of Roosevelt County for doing the things that you do, Francisco, because you've been there for us every step of the way. Secondly, I would love to recognize Mr. George Dodge as well, who I think is in the back of the room over there. Same thing with him. He listens to us. He spreads the word. We have a lot of needs in City of Portales. Not really Roosevelt County now that we have Francisco and George Dodge, but the City of Portales. And I am considered the city county commissioner because my district lies in the barrio and all that area where I'm not really county, you know. So that's why my pops is here next to me, because he's a city councilman, and we're in dire need, the City of Portales, and he'll probably speak a little bit more as to what's needed in the city, but I think he distributed these things to the staff, and I'll let my dad take over from here. My dad is City Councilman Jake Lopez.
Thank you. I don't have very much to say. All I'm going to say is I was told that this was a committee that we could get some money. So what I distribute some of that deal there, and on one of the most important ones is Kilgore, because that's 467 that comes out of the air base and crosses into to Kilgore and meets with 88, and that's the one that, and we got some money involved in it already. It's just that we don't have enough to finish it, and that's one of the main reasons. And Portales is full of potholes, so I don't know what we're going to do about that if we could get any money for potholes. So I'm just kind of trying to work on everything that we can to, because our streets are a disaster right now. There's not in the old days, you know, the north of Portales compared to the east or the south of Portales was different. Now it's not any different. Everywhere that you go, there's a lot of potholes. So what we're trying to do is ask for some money.
I would like to encourage not only you, but everybody that's here that's not part of District 2, is that we have 6 district engineers. and they're all very, very knowledgeable in what they do. And like these monies, and if you're looking for funding, if you're looking for help, if you're looking for a resource, feel free to go by. And as you said, here you deal with Francisco, and he's been a great asset. So in any other district, in this district and the other 5, feel free if you're not sure of something. If you're saying, hey, how do we get money to build a bridge? Is there any money for this? If there's any money for that, can we get help for this? Feel free to go by, and they'll sit down with you, and I guarantee you every single one of them does a great job in trying to help our communities, because as I said earlier, we're all partners in this. It's not DOT, it's not the city of Portaza, we're all partners, and that's the only way that we're gonna succeed, is if we combine our resources and we help each other, because that's what we do. We do that as people, as neighbors, as friends, as family, and that's what we consider DOT a family. So consider us a resource and continue to use us.
Thank you so much. And lastly, I want to, since they're our neighboring county, I want to also say that we will endorse what Chief Bowman presented a little while ago. Nice seeing you, Chief. Where's he at? Oh, there you are. Anyway, we will endorse his recommendation as well through Roosevelt County. I'm sure my fellow commissioners won't mind.
I was appointed by Governor Richardson to belong to the Community Development Board, and I used to get a lot of money through there for our streets. And then Governor Susana reappointed me, and we used to get a lot of money, but now I'm not reappointed there, so.
No, feel free to use us as a resource, like I said, and we appreciate you being here. And more importantly, we appreciate the work that you're doing up in your area, because it's not easy. And dollars today are not easy. So when there's plenty of money, everybody's happy. And when there's not money, you try to find ways to get things done. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Cabinet Secretary, and thank you, Board of Commission, and thank you all of y'all.
Mr. Chairman, we have one other would like to speak as a trustee from Tularosa. It's Mark Garwood.
First off, I would like to say thanks to the Mescalero Apache tribe for putting this on, and all the commission. Thank you all for being here and trying to help the communities of the state in southern New Mexico and District 2. I'm here to speak a few concerns for Tularosa on our highway that goes through Tularosa. We have 5470, which splits off at the Y. Okay, there's a couple of issues there that are of concern to the village of Tularosa, and on behalf of the mayor, I would like to speak about these, okay? First of all, our acequia system in Tularosa, the ditch authority and the village of Tularosa try to work very closely together to do things to help the village. So I spoke to Mr. Francisco Sanchez, and thank you very much for reaching back to us and sending that delegation to Tularosa to help solve our problems. And I appreciate the commission's help. But the first problem is our acequia system has been there since the 1860s. Well, in the 1860s to now has changed. Everybody knows that time changes things. Okay, so our acequia system is getting water from the highway, specifically on Cedro Street by the Speedway. So the highway is slanted in both directions from the north and the south, and it's the overflow from the water drainage goes into the ditch, taking oil, gasoline, and other contaminants into our acequia system, which is very important to Tularosa for not only the pecan orchards, but all kinds of people use that for their gardens in their homes and stuff like that. So again, I say thank you to Mr. Sanchez for trying to help us out, and I would like to piggyback on that with the village of Texaco, because they sent us what they did to get a master drainage plan, and we really appreciate the help that you guys are giving us. And the second concern I have is when there's accidents coming in on 5470 in the first part of Tularosa, we have a truck stop there. There's no lights there. I know that studies have to be done on the traffic flow and stuff like that. We get, and don't be offended if anybody's from Texas, okay, but we get the Texans coming up here to the into the mountain gods all the time, right? So they figured out on Google and stuff, we have Bookout Road, which cuts to the right of the travel center, and it goes through and it hits Mescalero Road. So they're Googling this to try to bypass Tularosa. Those are village streets that are there's not a whole lot of maintenance on them because we don't have the money right now. And specifically on the curve coming by the Horseman's Park, it's like more than a 90-degree curve. And there's been several accidents, and I know it's not the responsibility of the state to take care of this because it was Otero County's responsibility, but we annexed that part of the village into Tularosa. So now the guardrail's damaged. We don't have a guardrail there anymore. They took it out. And we're afraid that somebody's going to get killed on that corner. And so any help that the state of New Mexico can help us, and that's a detour road when there's accidents and stuff there. So you can consider it a bypass per se. So I'm just asking the commission, Mr. Sanchez, and the governor of New Mexico to try to help us out. We really need funding. We don't have we don't have a lot of tax base there. We only have a few businesses. So we rely on the state and the federal government to help us out. So any help you guys can give us will greatly be appreciated. And God bless you guys. And you guys have a safe trip back home. And thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the mayor for the village of Tularosa.
We have a quick secretary.
Yes, thanks for your presentation. Is North Bookout, is that the road that you were talking about that's being used as a bypass?
No, it's South Bookout.
South Bookout.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right. And where was it again that you have? And so it's a local road, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it. And where was it, that intersection where you need guardrail?
Okay, the guardrail would be as you turn right on Mescalero Road off of South Bookout. It's about a mile up the road, and it's a very, very dangerous curve there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, and on behalf of the commission, thank you for attending the meeting, and thank you for coming up here and speaking and letting us, informing us on some of the issues.
Okay, I appreciate you guys.
That is it for public comment. So with that, we're going to move on to recognition of service. And I'm still going to refer to him as Commissioner Bruce Ellis. Commissioner Ellis, if you would come up here to the front. I think it was about 4 years ago that Commissioner Ellis was appointed to the commission, as well as all of us up here. And I just want to say that it was an honor and a privilege. I had never met him before, so you're always wondering, well, you know, are we in this together? Do we have the same vision? And from day one, he turned out to be not only a great commissioner, but he turned out to be a great friend and someone that I want to continue to know forever and ever, because we're not always going to be commissioners. So you make friendships that last a lifetime. And he's one person that when he was sitting here, every decision he made, every question he asked was for the benefit of employees, was for the benefit of safety, was a benefit for the state of New Mexico and the traveling public. And I just want to say that it was an honor to have you here with us. And I'll always refer to you as Commissioner Ellis. And I just want to say that I wish you nothing and your family nothing but the best going down the road. But always feel free to come and sit up here with us, and maybe you can sneak in a vote here or there. But
Only where needed.
but with that, it's been an honor to sit beside you, and we walked step by step together, and I don't think there could have been a better person representing District 2 at that time than you.
Well, thank you very much. If I can, I want to say welcome to the Francisco Sanchez and District 2 show, you know. Couple of things. First of all, we have all been involved in boards and commissions, and we've supported our community and we've supported our state, and even when it's not even politically correct, we support the people that manage and have the elected responsibility to take care of those of us that live here. And my experience has always been, this commission is no different, that I got way, way more out of my experience than anything I ever contributed. And I appreciate the opportunity to serve the governor and serve the highway department. I think one of the things that I appreciated most was the required responsibility to get out and view all of these other different communities. I don't think there was probably no place I hadn't been before during my time on the commission, but the chance to go back, to see it in a different light, to enjoy the people that you got to know along the way was tremendous experience. I was glad to have been there during a period of time when there was a little more money being handed out, and certainly hope that is in the DOT's future as well, and appreciate everything that happens within this department. I think it's much underappreciated, the efforts of this commission, the efforts of the staff, but most importantly, the people that are out on the road every day doing what they do, sometimes not to the level of appreciation that they really should have. And hopefully we have continued safety on the roads. And thank you to everybody that's been so supportive. I'd be a little remiss if I didn't take my few seconds of microphone time and say, my wife and I have traveled a lot of the state, and it is disappointing. We traveled through Santa Fe a week or so ago, and 285, down through the city of Santa Fe is disappointing. It's embarrassing for those of us that are New Mexicans to be in our capital city and see the disrepair of the medians and the dirt and the debris that's along the roads and stuff. And I know there's never enough money for everything that we'd like to do, but certainly we need to create a partnership in all of our communities between the State Highway Department, the DOT, and those communities to see our roads and our highways the way that the visiting public sees it. We've got almost 3,000 miles of scenic highway within New Mexico, and I forget how many designations we have, and certainly we need to do everything we can to maintain that, get the support from the feds to finance the beauty that is here in New Mexico. So again, Walter, thank you. It's a pleasure to be back in New Mexico right now, and certainly appreciate the time. And again, to Francisco and all of his staff, it was a very enjoyable experience, and I hope I just brought a little bit more than what I got out of it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm going to leave it up to any of the other commissioners if they'd like to echo some words.
Yes, certainly I would enjoy doing that. I got to sit next to Mr. Ellis for almost 3 years, and I always appreciated his pointed questions. You didn't just sit up here and listen. You actually processed the information.
Thank you.
You made some very good points, and you asked some very good questions. So for that, I really appreciate your business sense and your pride in the work that we do up here. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tonjes.
I've just met Mr. Ellis, absolute terrific gentleman, and I appreciate so much your offer to me of support. I assure you I will take you up on that as the newest commissioner and with your experience here representing District 2. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Gary and I had a great conversation. I think sometimes we forget
how many people we know in common, and it's always good to have those conversations and kind of stay in touch with people that touch multiple lives in and around the communities that we supported as well.
Commissioner Taylor.
Bruce?
That's Tom, by the way.
This is Tom. Amigo.
Amigo.
We're going to miss you on this board.
Thank you.
You know, going to big shoes to fill for Gary down there. Just appreciate very much your sincere love of your state.
Thank you.
We're a very diverse bunch of folks, scattered out thinly. I just got back from Germany that's the same size as New Mexico, plus a little bit. 90 million people to take care of their transportation system, and we have 2 million.
Yeah.
And I know that your vision and understanding of that diversity is very keen, and we thank you so much for having the concern and true interest in New Mexico. So thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Secretary.
Yeah, Bruce, I know we didn't know each other for a long time. My first commission meeting, I had the pleasure of having breakfast with you, listening to your past as a businessman, and you know, someone who cares very much about your region of the state. I know it gets hard having served on boards and commissions to balance all these things with, you know, what you want to do with your family and your friends, and I think that you're going to have time now to do what's most important, man. Just enjoy life. And if we can ever be of help to you or your family, don't hesitate to give us a call, but hope we keep in touch.
Well, you know, it's kind of ironic. I came to a fork in the road, and you know, I had to make a decision. You do what you have to do when you have to do it. So thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, and you know, one more comment about what Tom said about the diversity within our state. It's that diversity that binds us together stronger. It really is. So.
Commissioner Alice. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Francisco, right?
Commissioner Alice, you know, on behalf of myself, District 2, we just want to thank you for, you know, your dedication and commitment to our staff, and of course, your leadership for Southeast New Mexico and striving to make Southeast better. For me personally, our relationship, working with you, really what I really appreciate was your wisdom. You know, the first 2 weeks we met, and I don't know if you recall this, we met up at your office there in the building on Pennsylvania, and we had a really good discussion on expectations, what it meant to be. And there was one thing that Commissioner Alice told me, and it's really stuck with me and taken to heart. He said, just because you've been selected as a manager doesn't make you a leader. Just because you've been selected a district engineer doesn't automatically make you a leader. And that really stuck to me, and it meant a lot, and it's really guided me in the way I've approached District 2. And so this is a jacket we get annually. We try to give our employee staff a little something to thank them for all their hard work. As Chairman Walter said, Mr. Adams, Chair Adams, you're always going to be commissioner. You're always going to be part of District 2. So we just want to give this to you, and thank you for everything.
I appreciate it.
As all of you know, most of you that have been here a while, you spend more time here than you do with your families. So that rings true, is that you'll always be a MMDOT part of our family. We're all part of each other's family. And on behalf of the commission, we would like to present you with your name. That doesn't mean you can come here and
There you go. Classy guy. Classy guy.
Okay, now I'm going to turnaround. From all of you guys, I really appreciate the support. It's nice to be recognized. It's nice to see a few smiling faces in the room. And again, you know, just from one guy that drives a lot of miles, I appreciate everything that you guys do, and continue to do it, because we see the difference, and it's much appreciated. Thank you.
And continue to sit up here with us as long as you want. And with that, we're going to go on to number 8, the recognition of service. Franklin Garcia, will you please come up?
There he comes. He's 10 pounds lighter from when we saw him last. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I think you all have had the pleasure of working with Franklin Garcia, who recently retired from the DOT after years and years and years of service, most recently serving as the director for our modal division. You think you know, Franklin, we're going to put you through the ringer with the video, talk a little trash, things like that. But, you know, I'll just say, you know, Franklin is a charismatic guy. You'll rarely find someone that understands an organization from top to bottom and can translate it to anybody, especially legislators, the way Franklin can. I spent a lot of time with Franklin over the course of the session, 60-day session, walking the halls together Saturdays and nighttime, you know, knocking on doors, making some of them angry. I think he got yelled at a couple of times for sure, but he takes it all in good stride. So I want to thank you, Franklin, because not only did you teach me some things about how to walk that building, but whenever, as a leader, I was going to do something that you knew might not work out the way I thought, you had the courage to sit in a room and tell me that might not work out the way you're thinking. And that takes a lot. So I appreciate the fearlessness to share your opinion and your insights. But we miss you for sure, and we've done a video to send you off with. One of the things that you'll all remember Franklin by, if there's anything, is Carl's Jr., right? Every day Franklin would walk in to the office, and he has an addiction to the tea from Carl's Jr., and today he walked in and it was from Starbucks. So he either didn't find a Carl's Jr., he's getting more fancy since he retired, but we'll miss you walking around with the Carl's Jr., man. But if you don't mind, we'll
Before we do the video, Franklin, on behalf of the commission, I want to speak on behalf of the commission. We want to thank you for all your years of dedication. And not only did you do your job well, you knew your job well. And you showed up every day. Employees loved you. Everybody that knew you spoke very highly of you. I always knew when I was still working there, I have never seen anybody get so excited when the session started. And he'd be there every day in his tie and his suit, and he'd stop by my office to say good morning, and he was ready to roll. I mean, I to this day, I don't know who wants to go to the legislature like that every day, but you did. You enjoyed it. You fought hard for us. And on behalf of the commission, we just want to say, Franklin, we want to wish you well. We know that you took a lot of pride, and you spent a lot of time with your daughter, and I know she just went to college, and I know you're going to concentrate some of your efforts on that. But we just want to say that we appreciate everything that you did. We know your employees did, and you're going to be not only missed, but the knowledge you're taking with you is going to be missed. And from a personal level, I knew you personally before I knew you. I just want to say that you're a heck of, it was great to know you. It's great to know you right now. We always talk sports. You talk about St. Mike's. I talk about West Las Vegas, and that's been an issue that we've gone back and forth on. But I just want to say that I value our friendship, and I value our conversations. And on behalf of the convention and behalf of myself, we want to wish you nothing but the best in the future to you and your family. So thank you. We'll look at the video, and I don't want to cry, you know how that is.
Franklin, as is customary, we've got a video filled with fans that are eager to wish you farewell and congratulate you on your retirement, myself included. You've been gone a little over a week now, and we surely miss you. I hope that you're enjoying the sun, that you're out on the golf course, still getting your workouts in throughout the day, but that you miss us a little bit also. you're always welcome to come on back, visit, say what's up, take us out and have some fun. So enjoy the wonderful memories that people have of you and the well wishes that you've certainly earned with your time here at DOT.
Hi Franklin, thank you for introducing me to DOT and making it a great place to work and being an all-around amazing boss. We're all going to miss you here.
Wish you all the best of luck. It's been great working with you. I've had just a good time interacting with you and your group.
I wish you and your family all the best. I can't imagine a DOT without you, and I can't wait to see all the new adventures that come your way.
Hey Franklin, congratulations on your retirement, brother. You'll be missed around here. Keep hitting them straight, and good luck with the next chapter of your life, man. Have a good one.
We wish you good luck on your future endeavors, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to join this DOT family. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Good luck.
And for being a mentor to me all these years. I know the traffic safety campaigns you've worked on over the years have probably saved countless lives, and that's no small thing.
So can't necessarily fill your shoes, but definitely can follow the path that you left for us. So
Que viva Franklin on your retirement. Salud. We wish you the best of luck, and we hope you enjoy golfing. Congratulations, Franklin.
Hey Franklin, just want to say congratulations and wish you luck in your future endeavors, and thank you for everything you did for us.
You will truly be missed around the DOT campus here.
If there's anything you need, bud, you know where to come. We're always here for you. Again, just good luck. Congratulations to you, and bud, I'm right on your heels, buddy. I'll see you soon. Thanks.
Hi, Turtlemeister. We've had a great time these past 20 years. A lot of memories, a lot of fights. I'm going to miss telling you to stay in your lane and you calling me a psycho. Maybe Dave or Jeff will volunteer to fight with me once in a while.
But on a personal note, I want you to enjoy your retirement with your lovely wife and beautiful daughter, and I want you to play lots of golf, and I'm sure I'll see you around.
What's up, buddy? I don't need to say anything. I see you all the time. Happy retirement.
I can't say I'll miss you. I just talked to you, and I'll probably talk to you 3 more times today. So you're a good person, Franklin, and good things come to good people. So cheers on your retirement.
I'd like to really give you a good thanks and appreciation for everything that you did help me get into my programs, and also for the opportunity that you gave me.
I worked with you for 15 years, and I'd just like to thank you for everything that you did to guide and help me through with traffic safety. I know there's a big passion in what we do.
You have definitely earned a wonderful retirement. I can tell you that for many, many years, anytime we thought DOT, your name and your face is what came to mind.
Walking around with your Carl's Jr. Cup and your folder, hopefully you could practice on your golf and maybe someday beat me.
Now I get to wear shorts every day to work.
Franklin, as you can see, you're going to be missed, man. You made a lot of friends and a lot of close relationships and ties to one of the best agencies in all of state government. For me personally, what I'm going to miss the most is walking the halls of the state capitol with you. It's something you do well. It's something I hope you continue to do to help us in the future and even to help yourself and your family. You definitely have earned the respect of every single legislator and the staffers. So thank you for doing that and for teaching me some things that I didn't already know. I appreciate always how you came to sit with me to discuss difficult issues, to share your thoughts, your advice, and to be sure, right, that I wasn't going to do something without, hearing your perspective. So you helped me to do this job a little bit better. I wish you the very best. Good luck to you, your family, your kid, and her college endeavors, and we'll miss you. Take care.
Happy retirement. I'll see you tomorrow.
And I just wanted to say that you also will be part of this family forever and ever, and like we say, we're NMDOT true, which means that forever and ever we're bonded and binded by our experiences and our thing here. And I just wanted to give a shout out because I know he was a big mentor to you, and I know that you too, You saw one, you saw the other back in the day before he was our past secretary, and your mentor, Mike Sandoval, if he's here. Mike, if you want to say a couple of words on behalf of Franklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been retired for a year, so I'm a little out of practice on impromptu speeches because I didn't know I was going to come up here. But thank you for recognizing Franklin. It's well-deserved, and thank you, Mr. Secretary. And I think we all recognize just the importance and how well he did at the legislative session to support the department overall. Just want to say one thing about Franklin that I've always admired. I hired Franklin back in 1999. His first state job was with DOT. And one thing that I always have recognized him for and been proud of him for is his commitment to the department. He stayed here throughout his career. He put in his time. He started lower level, put in his time, job came up, went to that job, and just worked his way up as high as you can pretty much get in a classified position throughout the DOT. And these days you see a lot of people moving around trying to get promotions just to get the promotion and not really worry about what the job was. But because of his passion for safety, his passion for the department, his loyalty to his team and to the department, he was able to start and finish his career here at DOT, and I've always appreciated that about him. The other thing is, as you know, I worked with him for over 20 years, and when you work with someone that long, you develop a trust. And I knew that whenever I gave him an assignment, he was going to do it, not only get it done, but do it the right way. And I trusted in him to be out on his own and get things done. And I'm really proud of him for everything that he's done over the course of his career. He's accomplished a lot, had a very successful and great career, and I wish him nothing but the best. And thank you guys for recognizing him. I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Franklin, before we present you with something, if you'd like to say a few words, we'd love to hear them.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I want to thank you, and I want to thank the department for, honoring me. I thought it was just going to be something towards the end of the agenda. I didn't realize I was going to be on the agenda. And so looking back, there were some stories that were commented on and different events. I worked here 25 and a half years, started in 1999, like Secretary Sandoval mentioned. And when I left with 3 boxes after 25 and a half years. Someone teased me today about wearing my DOT shirt. Well, I have a wardrobe. Half my wardrobe is DOT related, so I have to figure out times that I could wear them, and this is an appropriate time. DOT's been good to me and my family. You guys mentioned that. My wife did work at the DOT in separate, different capacities. My father-in-law was a bridge engineer, and he retired from the DOT. My daughter became an intern in IT, so she's seen that DOT family as well. So it's been a good area for me and for my family. There's been a whole lot of DOT family stories. We've seen, people get married, have kids, have their kids grow, have their kids graduate, and they've seen my kid and my family grow. And so I'll miss the regular conversations. We just had one today, Mr. Chairman, about St. Mike's and West Las Vegas, or who's going to compete for state. And I had those conversations with you, like you mentioned, on a regular basis. And that continued after you left with your daughter, Leanne, who worked at traffic safety. So those are things that, I'll just miss on a day-to-day basis, where I could just walk into someone's office and the conversation just goes there. As I was leaving, people came by talking about different history. Thomas talked about being able to wear shorts from now on. And when I was a new supervisor and he was under me, the second day I was a supervisor, he showed up in shorts. And actually, denim shorts that he was wearing back in the day. And I looked at the AED and I said, I don't think you're allowed to wear shorts. So I sent him home, and he said, do you remember that day? And I didn't remember that day. But obviously it was probably uncomfortable for me to send him. But I do remember the day that he asked me about the front desk clerk that I hired, and eventually became his wife. So he came up, what do you know about that girl? He ended up marrying her. So that was the story I remembered. We hired Lauren V. Hill when she was 18. And, I used to laugh that the first word out of her mouth was always started with an F, and it wasn't Franklin. But now she's moved up within the department, and she came in to talk to me about some stuff. And she's like, God, I can't believe we're having such a hard time hiring engineers. And so she went from that young, 18-year-old that with no filter, and now she's concerned about the department's engineering. We hired Mershawn when she was a teenager, and she's moved up, and now she's in charge of setting up this commission and talks to the commissioners on a regular basis. Other stories I could tell, I'll try to be brief. I know Benny put me on a time frame. So there was a raccoon day one time. A raccoon got into the building overnight, and we all got to go home because it's a nocturnal animal. They were afraid it was sleeping in someone's desk or someone's closet. If they opened it, the animal might attack. So we celebrated a raccoon day once a year, so we try to take that day off. One year we had a Chevy Equinox stolen from our office. A homeless guy broke into our office, found the keys, took the Equinox, left his 10-speed, and 3 months later they found it parked in Albuquerque. He just needed a ride to Albuquerque, so we got the car back. Jeff Burrell actually drove it up here today, so he has that. And one of the things I want to mention is sometimes part of the job is doing things no one else wants to do, and my biggest thing was the legislature. And you guys mentioned it. It was just something that, Secretary Sandoval and I started in 1999. We had to take over the graduate licensing program that just got passed. That bill just passed, and they said, you guys need to implement that. And then as we went along, they started wanting to change the interlock laws. They want to change the DWI laws. They want to change other traffic safety laws. So we got pulled into a lot of these things because we were in the traffic safety field. And so I learned a lot, dealing with those type of things at the legislature, dealing with the legislators and their staff. And I think that's the key, is getting to know the staff, getting to know the players besides the legislators. So a lot of it, like you said, was under the direction of Secretary Sandoval, and we learned together, and I appreciate that piece of knowledge that I was able to gain from the department. So it's not just one person. It actually came, the department helped me get there. One of the other legacies, I talked to Paul Brasher. They asked me what my background was, and I have a degree in journalism. So what's my degree in journalism doing with traffic safety? Well, one of the main things we did was the media campaigns. And when we decided that we were going to now take our media campaigns and put money into it, so we're not just waiting for a PSA to happen at 2 in the morning, we're going to create a quality PSA. We're going to find the time, the prime time to place it. And so we really ramped that up, and I really took to that because I have a journalism degree, and I really appreciated that. And I think we've made some big strides. Manon did mention that those campaigns did make a big impact on what we did and the DWI reductions. We had contractors and partners that stood side by side with us, and we couldn't do all the work ourselves, obviously, just like we can't build all the roads ourselves. So we had a lot of partners and partnerships that were developed, and they've been beside us since I've been there in '99. So I've seen the department grow. I've seen a lot of my friends move up, move on, and retire. And I just want to say I can't believe it's my time. And so I'm looking forward to the next chapter. And I want to thank the commission, commissioners, and all my DOT friends that are here today to support me. So thank you.
Thank you, Franklin. Yep. With that, we're going to continue. We're going to go on to District 2 update, Francisco.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, as always, it's always my honor to host a commission meeting, especially when it comes to District 2. Gives us the opportunity to really highlight what we do in this area. Every day I'm extremely proud of the work we do here in District 2, and this gives us an opportunity to really highlight what we do here. We have a short presentation, and of course, I'll be available for questions and would also, at the end of the presentation, really want to commend our staff. But at first, let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation. Welcome to the July 20th State Transportation Commission hosted by District 2. I'm your District 2 engineer, Francisco Sanchez. New Mexico is truly the land of enchantment. With its rich history, diversity, and beautiful landscapes, Southeast New Mexico is no different. We're extremely proud of the work we do each and every day, maintaining and enhancing our state highways, bridges, and infrastructures within Southeast New Mexico, supporting vast numbers of industries, including the ranching and farming communities, potash mining, oil and gas, WIP, and of course the traveling public. It's my honor to host the State Transportation Commission. It gives me an opportunity to highlight our current and future construction projects, honor the hard-working men and women of District 2, discuss major accomplishments, and answer any questions from the constituents we serve. Thank you once again for attending today's commission meeting. First, let me welcome the new District 2 State Transportation Commissioner, Gary Tonjes. Please give him a warm welcome. I look forward to working with Commissioner Tonjes in continuing to make progress throughout Southeast New Mexico. District 2 encompasses Southeast New Mexico. Overall, we serve 10 counties, maintain 7,750 lane miles. Recently, I celebrated 2 years as district engineer, and many times when I give this presentation, I focus on the 7,750 lane miles. Yes, it is a challenge, but what I'm most proud of is the 86 communities we serve. How do we serve these communities? Do it with an operating budget of approximately $44 million, with 16 maintenance patrols, 2 special crews, and 6 project construction offices. The foundation of our community support is our valued District 2 staff. We have 333 full-time employees, 108 in maintenance, 72 in construction, 54 business support, and 12 engineering support. Let's go ahead and meet our District 2 team. Business management is led by our business manager, Daryl Johnson, district administrator, Tara Collins, HR manager, Lori Green. These 3 individuals lead our support service departments. These crews make sure our field people, operations, all our personnel have everything we need to do our jobs, whether it's fixing and servicing equipment, updating our building facilities, making sure our vendors and suppliers are paid, making sure people are getting hired and promoted. These departments truly support the department in all their operations. D2 Construction, and currently our area of construction is vacant, but we are in great hands with the leadership in our construction program, led by our acting project manager, Donna Gillen, project manager, Brian Torres, Alatula Rosa, Aaron Clark, project manager, Carrizozo, Debbie Yazzie, project manager, Portales, John Lara, project manager, Hobbs, our project manager in Carlsbad, Juan Salas, and our resident engineer, Luis Mata. This collective group plays an important role for District 2. They ensure our construction projects are built per plan, per the specifications, and if changes are needed in the field, they do the right thing for the public and the taxpayers. District 2 construction would not be complete without our district lab audit section led by Colleen Price, TLPA coordinator Libby Coslin, and management analyst Jessica Best. Highlighted on this slide is our district lab. If you look closely, you'll see 6 stars. These 6 stars commemorate their achievement of being named 6-time State Lab of the Year. Their effort, led by Supervisor Mel Lincoln, truly shows their dedication to District 2. No matter what, they're there to support all our units, whether it's the construction project offices, technical support, maintenance. Anytime you call, they're there to assist. This team excels in their job. Just want to congratulate them for their achievement of being named 6-time State Lab of the Year. District 2 Maintenance is led by area maintenance supervisors Eddie Cedillo, Steve Solis, and Greg Evans, assisted by maintenance analyst Rita Espinosa. These collective group oversee the 16 patrols and 2 special crews throughout Southeast New Mexico. Engineer support, supervised by Michael Smelker, assistant district engineer. These units include technical support, traffic, permitting, survey, bridge inspection, and bridge crew. Whether they're providing solutions for field conditions for maintenance, serving the public through traffic, surveying for our project development, bridge inspections, and bridge repair projects. This group is truly an asset for District 2. Office of the District Engineer, Lisa Sandoval, Executive Administrative Assistant. Lisa is definitely my right-hand person, making sure she keeps me on task and in line. Candace Barella, Public Information Officer. She does a great job traveling the district, highlighting our accomplishments, making sure the public are informed, overseeing New Mexico roads. Manon Arnett, Local Government Liaison. She truly has become part of the communities, being a true liaison to the district engineer, anything the communities need in Southeast New Mexico. And of course, we couldn't do our jobs without our IT network specialists, Frank Banda and Georgina Ramirez. Now that you have met our District 2, let's see what exciting project District 2 has going on. I'd like to highlight a few of our major infrastructure projects, starting with Downtown Loving Project. This is a $24 million investment, full reconstruction of their downtown, including new storm drain, sidewalks, curb and gutter, new traffic signals, new pavement. We're really excited about this project and what we're delivering to the city of Lovington. Anticipated completion date will be September of 18th, 2023. We are wrapping up our major US 285 corridor improvement projects. Overall, this is a 23-mile corridor, major roadway improvements, widening, addition of passing lanes, a 4-lane section, bridge replacements. This is a $150 million investment. Close to $100 million of the total was state funded, provided through our general fund. Just want to thank our legislative partners for this funding. We couldn't have brought this corridor construction without the state funds. One of my favorite projects that we completed this year was the Carrizozo Downtown Project. This was a $9 million investment. We recently had a ribbon cutting to celebrate the accomplishment. It was truly a community effort bringing this project together. As you can see from the photos, it really transforms the town. I had the pleasure of meeting with the mayor last week. In our discussion, he talked about, for the first time in 30 years, Carrizozo had a population increase. He said a lot of that is attributed to the project we brought through. It's helped bring in businesses, residents. For me, what I love about DOT is the impact we have, and this picture sums it up. We're having a ribbon cutting with the Carrizozo kindergarten first grade class. I'll be long gone, but this generation will be able to grow up in a town with these great features that NMDOT had constructed. This slide has all our projects going on across Southeast New Mexico. If you have any questions about any of these projects on the list, I'm more than happy to answer questions at the end of the presentation. Two projects I do want to highlight on this list, though, is 210-1351. This project is scheduled to start July 20th. Over a $38 million investment in Clovis, a full roadway reconstruction, drainage improvements. Really excited to start working on this project in Clovis. The other project I'd like to highlight on this list is the US 54 corridor for milepost 151.6 to 163.7. This is the last section of US 54 needing major improvement. We'll be widening the road, bringing in new drainage structures, passing lanes. This is going to be a great project for that corridor. Every year we see increase in freight, and this project is going to go a long way in helping the economics of New Mexico and the safety of the traveling public on US 54. I cannot talk about the 2112 and 2113 projects without congratulating our Carrizozo Project Office. The control number 210-2111 was selected as the 2022 statewide project of the year. I'd like to congratulate the Carrizozo Project Office on an excellent job, well done managing the project, led by Project Manager Aaron Clark, AD of Engineering Alan Briley, Patrick Palomares, Shelly Kinnick, Brett Hooper, Jason Gonzalez, Efren Perea, Chad Freeman, Lou Ramirez, Sean Roach, Ryan Viescas, and Steven Johns. I had an opportunity to drive this project last week, and man, did it come out well. I love driving a smooth road, and if you go on this corridor, it's one of the smoothest roads you'll drive in the state of New Mexico. Have to say thank you to South Region for designing it, under the project development Sherry Hollerfield, designer, the engineering firm Stantec, and of course, the contractor Mountain States. Being a rural state, we truly become partners with our contractor community, and just want to thank Project Manager Mike Brown, Superintendent James Houston on a job well done, and congratulations for being the 2022 statewide project of the year. Now that you've seen our current construction projects, let's talk about the future of District 2. US 285 has been the #1 priority for District 2 for a while. Now that we have it fully under construction, our focus now is the New Mexico 31, New Mexico 128 corridor. We have exciting projects scheduled on this corridor. We're really focusing on the major areas where we will have the most impact, improving safety and minimizing congestion and improving the overall traffic operations. One project that we'll be letting this winter, December 23, the US 285 New Mexico 31 intersection improvement project. This is a $22 million investment. We'll be realigning the intersection, moving it down approximately 1,500 feet, bringing in new turn lanes, acceleration, deceleration lanes. Once these improvements are put in, you'll see major improvements on the way traffic is flowing and overall improving the safety of this intersection. Another project we'll be taking on and letting this upcoming spring of 2024 is the jail roll rate improvement. This project will encompass the city limits of jail, an overall $35 million investment. We have the slide here with some traffic modeling. This picture was taken in an afternoon, and you can see how congested this downtown corridor is. A great representation of why we're doing this project is this traffic model that we did through our Phase AB study on New Mexico 128. Currently in the afternoon, you're looking at about 23 minutes to get through the town. And this is not a very long section. You know, once this project is put in, we put in a traffic signal at New Mexico 128 and New Mexico 18, and another traffic signal at 128 and 3rd Street. Synchronized both signals. We're anticipating traffic getting through the city of jail within 3 minutes. I know we are excited about this project. I know the city of jail has been waiting a long time for this. We can't wait to get work started in this community next spring. This legislative session, we received $15 million towards New Mexico 128. The district's plan is to really target the intersections where we're seeing major congestion and accidents. The intersections we're looking at are the ones listed below. Our goal is to either bring in high-T intersections or other innovative designs to make sure traffic is flowing out there and reducing the accidents. The anticipated letting date will be fall of 2024. Many in this room are very familiar with this corridor, the US 380 from Roswell to the Texas state line. Overall, for us to bring in pavement rehabilitation and passing lanes throughout, we're looking at over $200 million. Our plan right now is to fully design 6 phases and have them ready for construction in case funding is available and we can go to work. Right now, we do have funding for our first priority. As you can see in this section, they're the red. And this priority project would put passing lanes right outside of Roswell in the middle section between milepost 180 and 190. Some improvement outside of Tatum with passing lanes leaving Tatum and passing lanes coming in from the state line. This project would cost $30 million. We're anticipating letting this first priority project October 18th, 2024. Future step projects below is a list of lettings for the remainder of 2023 and 2024. If you have any questions on the projects listed, I'm available for additional information at the end of the presentation. This presentation would not be complete without acknowledging the incredible accomplishments our District 2 maintenance had this year. 2 major accomplishments I would like to highlight for FY23 from our maintenance patrols is our snow removal. As you can see, we accomplished 96,106 pass miles this year. A perfect example that we had this year, the Thanksgiving holiday, either the day of Thanksgiving or the day after. At any given time, all 16 patrols had gone out on those days. That just shows our dedication and commitment to the public. I have to commend them for their work ethic on those days. You know, when we were celebrating our holidays with our families, being warm in our houses, these hard-working men and women were out there clearing the roads. And I don't see any other agencies with that kind of commitment. One other accomplishment that I would like to focus on is we have really made an effort on pavement preservation through our maintenance section, really investing in our training, our budget, really focusing on maintaining our roads. I'd like to highlight our commodity costs. This was really our amount of material we laid down, $2.5 million. A majority of that was our chip seal program and our asphalt paving. We're doing this district-wide with various maintenance patrols. As you can see in our next video, we have our Roswell Patrol laying down hot mix material. US 380 is an important corridor for District 2. While we are planning our future project on there, our maintenance staff is making an effort to extend the life of the pavement, doing extensive pavement preservation work.
All the Texas people come over here to New Mexico, so there's a lot of traffic, and the road's pretty bad, so we're doing an overlay, 1-inch overlay, and we're going 1-inch height and about 13 inches wide.
Working for NMDOT, one thing you learn is expect the unexpected. On January 28th of this year, we had a major rock slide. Over 100 cubic yards of rock dislodged from the mountain, blocking the highway. Our Tularosa and maintenance patrols took quick action to close the road, keeping the public safe. Luckily, no one was hurt. These crews worked diligently for 3 days, breaking up large boulders, removing the debris, and repairing the road. Their effort was instrumental in opening this road within 3 days, opening up an important corridor for southeast New Mexico. Another dynamic emergency project we took on this year was the repair of the Carlsbad Green Street Bridge. The repair cost was $1.1 million investment. We identified through our bridge inspection team a serious deficiency in the pier caps. It was such of a concern, we got with our state bridge engineer and we decided we needed to shut the bridge down. Worked through this first part of the year, repairing the piers, doing concrete repair, new bearings. This bridge is critical for Carlsbad. It is the gateway entering their town. Quick action. I want to commend our bridge inspection team for taking quick action, improvising. As you can see in the video, there's nothing they won't do to make sure our structures are safe. And as you can see in the video, you got them kayaking out there. I can't commend them more for the action they took in keeping the public safe and making sure this bridge was repaired back to a level where we could get traffic back on it. There's no secret, we're not the only agency or industry struggling with staff shortages. We are making an effort here at District 2 for recruitment. We've put together a team from our human resource group involving our public information officer, Candace Barella, to go out and really find a pipeline of employees for NMDOT, telling a story of what NMDOT does and why it's such a great place to work. We've had recruitment efforts at the high schools, at the community colleges. We are hopeful that this brings in some valued staff to contribute to NMDOT and continuing our high level of service for Southeast New Mexico. District 2 has an incredible valued staff. We would like to honor specific individuals and crews that have gone above and beyond this year. What can I say about the Bomb Patrol? They won for a reason. Anytime you stop at patrol, you really see what the Bomb Patrol is about. Their grounds are immaculate, patrol is always clean, their equipment is always well maintained. They do everything right to make sure they are serving the public at a high level of service.
Sure, we just really did our job, We just do what they pay us to do, highway maintainers. But these guys are good. It's these guys that are working out for me, They don't, I'm the orchestrator and they're the choir, I guess you would say. They do their thing and I just guide them along, but it's all these guys,
We struggle with litter on our highways. Luis has been with us since 2014. In addition to all his maintenance duties, he was selected because of his work ethic and leadership skills to oversee the District 2's litter cleanup program. In this role, he has supervised temporary laborers. His effort and dedication to the litter program has significantly contributed to the beautification of New Mexico State Highway. We are honored for his selection of District 2's Employee of the Year.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm honored about it, and I appreciate that they picked me, I guess, We got a lot of trash trucks that come through here. Our landfill goes straight to Roswell and through our main, one of our relief routes, which, there's a lot of unsafe tarp or strap downs that, you got all this debris flying out of their vehicles. So it's a constant problem. And I mean, you can only do so much to try to maintain it and all that, but that's why we got these crews out here to try to, clear it up as quick as possible.
2022 District 2 Supervisor of the Year, Harvey Acosta. When I think of Harvey, I think professionalism, utmost respect from his peers, and urgency. When we talk about urgency, there's no one better than Harvey. Anytime something is needed at the Clovis Patrol, when I give him a call, I know it's going to get done, and I'm always impressed on the time he takes care of these tasks. As soon as I hang up, it seems like right away, whether it's within the day, next day, I'm getting a call from Harvey, it's done. That truly shows Harvey's work ethic, integrity, his respect for the public, and his dedication to District 2.
I've always been a hard worker, and so have my guys, and we just like to get the job done as quick as possible to the best way we can. The way I see it, you should never be afraid to get your hands dirty. Get in the job, do whatever needs to get done, fill in any position that needs to be filled.
Our 2022 District 2 Crew of the Year is the Tularosa Maintenance Patrol. The Tularosa Patrol is responsible for maintaining 741 total lane miles. The dedicated men and women of the Tularosa work extremely hard on various activities year-round. No matter the maintenance activity, the Tularosa Patrol takes great pride in the work, completing tasks with enthusiasm and professionalism. What makes the Tularosa Patrol exceptional is their strong ties and obligations to the communities they serve, and the philosophy of taking upon themselves to try to ensure the success of others. The Tularosa Patrol is a true reflection of the New Mexico Department of Transportation's core values.
In my opinion, they're the best crew in District 2, so I mean, they do what we got to do. We're not just a crew, we're kind of a family. It's a big honor. I mean, there's a lot of good patrols in District 2, so it's a really big honor to be given this award, you know. I mean, everybody's out working hard all year long, so it's a pretty big thing.
In closing, I would like to thank the Mescalero Apache tribe for allowing us to host at this wonderful venue, the Inn of the Mountain Gods. I'd like to thank the commissioners, executive staff for all the support they give District 2 and everything we do. I'd like to thank the hard-working men and women of District 2. Every time I speak with them, either at the office, patrols, on the construction project offices, I always say, yes, I lead the district, I set the vision, but I work for you. Thank you for having such a successful year. Keep up the good work. Keep striving to make Southeast New Mexico a better place. Thank you.
Francisco, I see you there gloating with that thing on your face, and
Yeah.
and rightfully so. And I want to bring up, I think Travis had some presentations for your crew.
He does, and of course, you know, hopefully after the presentation of Travis and a few closing words for myself before we move on, you know, of course, we would love to get pictures with the commissioners to honor these men and women for what they do. You know, the two emergency projects, I think, kind of summed up why I'm so proud to work for DOT. You know, they didn't really give it the full justice. You know, the rock slide, it was really a collaborative effort. You know, it took Mayhill, Tularosa Patrol, our AMSs. It just doesn't happen without a dedicated team. We came back with a contract to scale those rocks to protect the public, taken on by technical support under the leadership of Jesse Crane and Michael Smelker. You know, that bridge project was huge for Carlsbad. Like I said, that was the gateway. The community was very concerned, you know, when that went down. You know, we took action. The Carlsbad Patrol was there to shut it down. Our bridge crew, in collaboration with other members of patrols, built a detour to make sure we didn't shut down traffic. I mean, what this team does, you know, I'm always blown away about the impact we have. So I can't say enough about them. I know a lot of times, even up here, you know, there are people giving me praise, and, you know, I was raised a very humble man by my parents that taught me humility, and, you know, I may get the praise, but I know with the praise really, it doesn't happen without these people behind me. So I just want to thank them, you know, personally, because that's why I love work for DOT, because of what we do and the people that work for us. So I just want to give them a round of applause for what they do. Thank you, District 2. I also want to acknowledge our construction engineer, Alan Briley. I know he's here. Stand up, Alan. So, as you saw, he was part of the State Project of the Year. I told this story at his going away right before he retired. He said, he talked about a story where a staff member came up and said, congratulations on your retirement. I guess we're never going to see you again. And Alan said, you know, he got kind of thrown back for that. But during our luncheon to, you know, welcome or congratulate Alan, you know, I told him, no matter what, whether you come back to the district or not, you'll always be part of District 2. And no matter what, when somebody talks about a project in DOT, like the one on 54, they always say, who was a construction engineer? So Alan Bryan will always be part of District 2 and the projects that he accomplished. So just want to thank him for his time at District 2. And I believe Travis has something for.
There he comes.
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, district engineers, welcome. Thank you for allowing me to take this quick opportunity just to recognize one of the programs that's produced by the communications team is the BEST programs. And we have 2 winners out of District 2, which I'm excited to talk about. The first one is, I believe we have the District 2 bridge crew here, correct? If you could stand up, please. These great people, you know, it's the best practice program. It recognizes the innovation that's inspired by the men and women of the Department of Transportation. And we always recognize individuals every year through this program. It's extremely supported by everybody. The Secretary, Mr. Adams, you've always helped me with this program. It was your baby, so I thank you for allowing me to keep running it. Deputy Secretary Jessica Cooper, she's reached out on the program as well, and just to continue to grow the program. This year, though, the District 2 bridge crew, they made a reusable concrete chute. So it's something that they can use over and over again as they're placing concrete in and around District 2. So I want to congratulate them for that. They will, let's see. We give them a jacket, sweater rather.
Travis, on the best practice program, our motto there when I was running it was whatever it takes, but more importantly, what good is an idea if it's not shared? And we have wonderful ideas that our employees go out, and sometimes we don't have the budget and we don't have the resources, but they find a way to make it happen. And they go out there and they say, well, we need this tool. And that tool could be, it might take a while to get here, or they go out and they manufacture something that's going to make it and make it the jobs safer, faster, and cheaper. And I think the Secretary has some ideas, and as we move forward with recruitment and retention to even honor those even more. But I just want to say that our employees aren't the type of employees that sit in a patrol yard or sit in an office and say, well, you know, if they don't get it for us, we're not going to do it. They have too much pride for that. They make it happen, and for that, I thank all of you. And it's not a team award. It's not a, I remember when we first started it, somebody said, well, why are you giving it to the whole crew, or why are you giving it to the whole office? Because, you know, so-and-so came up with the idea. There's not such a thing as someone came up with an idea. There's a concept and there's a design, and I've seen that it takes a team to build it. So someone might come up with the concept, and then they go and they have to ask the welder to help him, and then he comes up with somebody else says, hey, so at the end of the day, we wanted to make sure that it's a team award and that it's not an individual award, because in this DOT, we're a family, we're a team. We're not one person, and everybody fits in, is a piece of the puzzle. And when you're making a puzzle, if one piece is missing, it's not complete. And so we appreciate what everybody does, because you are a piece to that puzzle, and you're the one that makes the puzzle complete.
Yes, sir. I couldn't say it any better, Chairman Adams. Teamwork is one of our core values, and that does contribute a lot to the BEST program, so I do agree with you there. Lastly, I want to, we'll take, if you don't mind, if we could take pictures after maybe real quick, take a quick break.
What we're going to do, is right with the commission, is that we'll go on a 10-minute break, and while we take the pictures, we can take the pictures, and everybody else can take a 10-minute break.
Great. That's great. The second award that I have this year is for the Best Patrol program. So that recognizes a statewide Best Patrol. And this year it was District 2. I know me and Amy were upset because it wasn't District 1 or District 4. So I'm sorry, Adam, but we'll try harder. We'll try harder. But I do want to congratulate District 2 on Best Patrol. They really have a great staff, great leadership, you know, and it's awesome to see when they get recognized for something like that. And if I could have the supervisor come up and we can show off the traveling trophy that we do have. That's one of the things that we did bring into the best programs for Best Patrol, is we brought a traveling trophy. You know, this is they get to show it off at their district. So every year we're gonna pass that around. Hopefully, Amy, again, we didn't get it, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, but yeah, we want to do. They also get a jacket. We'll distribute these, but for best patrol.
When I was there, and Jen was there, how many jackets did you get?
Exactly. You know, and it's a struggle every year to get stuff for just to recognize individuals, and we do our best, and we're trying harder and harder every year. There's obstacles that we have to follow. We do whatever Mallory tells us to do, so I just follow the rules. That's all I know what to do, right? So, but we're able to get a few of these things just to recognize the men and women of the NMDOT throughout the state, and that's what the BEST programs is built on. And I pray that it continues to just be built off of that. So I want to congratulate the Vaughn Patrol.
And let me just say, Travis, that I say things over and over again because that's what it is. And we spend more time at work than we do at home. And you know what? It's beautiful and wonderful that with all the work that they have going out in the field, they're out there every day, they're mowing, they're blade patching, they're doing this, and they still take time. Even sometimes it's on their time to come in and make sure that their patrol is not only clean, but it's up to date. And sometimes they come and they say, hey, can we tile in here and we can get them a little bit of money. They do things that are not in job description.
Okay.
We're not the agency that says, well, it's not in my job description. Over here, our job description is one for all and all for one. So with that, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Of course you can. We're going to take pictures now.
Come on, guys.
So, Chairman, Commissioners, hope you're up for a lot of pictures. I'd like with all the winners of all
and
the
everybody else can take a 10-minute break while we take pictures.
Go ahead. Let's start with Vaughn Patrol, and then we'll go with the bridge crew, and then Lab, and then Carrizozo, and then our individual winners.
Thank you, Cisco.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome.
Pretty good. What's before? Yeah, James Mason with.
Their seats. Jeff, I'm going to have you start coming up and getting ready. Mershan. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the FY24 traffic safety data presentation. Jeff, thank you for being here. Welcome.
I'm going to help you out.
Okay.
Right before we start our meeting, what I want to do is, I want to recognize all our IT people, everybody over here in the back, and all the other support people that come by, because they get here a day early, sometimes 2 days early, to set up. They make everything happen. They live stream, and without them, we wouldn't. They put on a class act. So, on behalf of the commission, thank you, all of you, for the work you do. And with that, Jeff, we'll go ahead and start.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. My name is Jeff Barella. I'm the Traffic Safety Director for the department. Today, I will be talking a little bit about traffic safety and some of the data points that were utilized to develop our triennial highway safety plan. Previously, every year we would have to conduct a highway safety plan. We would evaluate and analyze the data to develop the programs that we'd be implementing throughout the year. Under BIL, they changed that to a triennial highway safety plan where we have to do it once every 3 years. And one of the main components of that change was the implementation of public engagement and participation. So we thought this would be a great opportunity for us to utilize this setting to inform the community of some of the data trends and some of the work that we're doing within traffic safety. So under the division, our primary role and responsibility is to help prevent and reduce traffic-related crashes, injuries, and fatalities. And we do that through our highway safety plan, which outlines our projects and programs and our investments that we make now every 3 years. Some of the areas that we focus on are alcohol and impaired driving, now also cannabis impaired driving, occupant protection, police traffic services, motorcycle safety, pedestrian and bicyclist safety, media and marketing campaigns, and traffic records, as well as our planning and administration. Here's a breakdown of our federal budget, which is given to us by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. It's kind of hard to see on this screen, but annually we get between $14 and $15 million a year to implement our programs. Additionally, we get about $5 million a year in state funds, which is partly road fund as well as other designated funding received through fees and court fees and taxes. I want to highlight the Traffic Records Bureau because through the Traffic Records Bureau, that's the primary area where we get all our data. Traffic Records is responsible for coordinating and collecting the data, crash data from the law enforcement agencies across the state. The primary and most efficient way for them to do that is through the TRACS software. Currently we have 72 agencies that are utilizing this software, and we're continuously working with other agencies across the state to utilize TRACS. This is important because we utilize data to develop our programs. Other partners within the traffic safety realm, within the Department of Transportation realm, rely on the data that we produce. So they're an important component of traffic safety and the data that I'll be sharing with you today. This is a flowchart of the way that the data is actually compiled. You can see on the screen there's a crash. It goes into our FAR system, it goes into the track system, and it's disseminated into these different databases. And at the end, there's a series of reports that are compiled on an annual basis that we utilize to design our programs. Law enforcement agencies utilize it to design their enforcement efforts, and other partners within Department of Transportation utilize the data as well. Here's a little bit of the historical crash data. This demonstrates the suspected serious injuries. That's through the bar graph. And as you can see, from the 80s and 90s, injuries were extremely high. And as technology evolved and cars got more safe, those suspected injuries decreased. The other point on this graph is the fatalities. They're obviously very high in '79. They've kind of fluctuated throughout the years. The pandemic lowered those fatality rates, and currently we've went back up a little bit. Here's a graph that demonstrates the number of total crashes, and a lot of times in the traffic safety realm, we focus on the fatalities, and an actual crash is kind of underlined in the sense that even though there may not be a fatality in a crash is an impact to a family, to a community, has an economic impact within the communities that we live in. So the crash numbers prior to the pandemic had slightly been going up, obviously because not as many people were on the roads. They decreased in 2020 and then slightly increased over the past couple years. As you'll notice on this graph, 2022 data is preliminary. That's because we're still in the process of cleaning and scrubbing that data to ensure that it's accurate. Also on this graph, you'll see a red line. That's our 5-year moving average. That's a target you don't necessarily need to focus on. That's something that we utilize to kind of set our target trends when we're developing our programs. Alcohol-involved crashes, over the years, they've been around the same number. Our alcohol-involved, although they've kind of stayed stagnant over the past few years, our alcohol-involved fatalities have decreased, which we'd like to say is based on the efforts that we've invested on our NDWI program and our education and awareness to the communities on the dangers of driving impaired, as well as some of the partnerships that we've had with rideshare organizations to offer safe rides when they do decide to go out and drink. Here's the crash fatalities we have through April, actually. It's not to date. This time last year, there were 142 fatalities on New Mexico roadways. Currently, or through April, there's 118, and I could say through July right now, we are continuing to trend downward from our previous year, so that is definitely a positive thing. Here are the counties ranked by total fatalities in 2022. On that list, number 1 is Bernalillo, obviously because they have a higher population. There's going to be more fatalities. This slide is hard to see, but I'll read off the first few. We have Bernalillo, McKinley, Doña Ana, and Santa Fe. This also shows the percentage that are alcohol involved, as well as drug involved, unbelted, as well as alcohol impaired, and then the percentage of pedestrians. 33% of the fatalities within Bernalillo County involve pedestrians, so that's an extremely high number. And then another high number we have in terms of pedestrians is also McKinley County. Here are the top counties in 2022 for fatal and suspected serious injury crashes and the percent of alcohol involved. Once again, we have Bernalillo County at number 1, Santa Fe, Doña Ana, and San Juan. Because Bernalillo County has so many people. We do partner with the law enforcement agencies and the state police to help enforcement efforts within these communities to help impact these numbers. And they don't only work on, DWI related issues, they also work on speeding, distracted driving, as well as occupant protection, which is wearing your seatbelt. As I said earlier, the alcohol-involved crashes and fatalities have decreased over the past years, but then the speeding-related fatalities have increased because, especially during the pandemic, there wasn't a lot of law enforcement presence that was out on our roadways. So individuals' driving behaviors definitely changed during that time. So as you can see, prior to the pandemic, these numbers have increased over the past few years. Additionally, motorcyclist fatalities are indicated on this slide. It's been pretty consistent in terms of the number of motorcycle fatalities that we've had over the years. And in the traffic safety division, we do have programs to educate motorcyclists on the dangers of driving, as well as provide training to them to get their certifications. I mentioned pedestrian fatalities earlier. This graph demonstrates the levels of pedestrian fatalities since 1979. They kind of dipped in 2011 and have been going up ever since then. 2021 was the highest year that we had for pedestrian fatalities in a long time. Currently, New Mexico is ranked number 1 per capita in pedestrian fatalities. So in the department, we have a planning section which has developed a pedestrian safety action plan, which kind of focuses on the infrastructure side of things. So we've been working with them on the development of that, and also figuring out ways where we could improve and enhance our pedestrian safety program for outreach and awareness. Here's the fatalities and distracted driving crashes that include driver inattention, utilization of cell phone, texting, and other distractions. As I mentioned earlier, alcohol involved going down, other driving behaviors going up. So 2020 dipped to 147, 2021 zipped up to 196, an extreme increase, over that 1 year point of data. That was the extent of the data that I have. Through our division, we have access to a myriad of different data points, different reports. I'd be happy to make those available to the public. They are available to the public through the websites. So if anybody's interested in viewing those reports, if they'd be beneficial to you guys in terms of project development, information, you could see down to the community and even city level on some of these reports. So I'd be happy to share those with anybody, and I stand for questions if there are any.
On behalf of the commission, thank you for your report, and we know that there's a lot of work that goes into compiling this data, and we appreciate it. And I only have one question for myself, because I notice it, is that I walk a lot, and that's what I do for exercise. I go through town, and I've noticed maybe in the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. You hit a crosswalk, and if people see you getting to the crosswalk, they even speed up because they're not going to slow down. And I'm just wondering if there's anything that we can do, or if there's anything out there that we can figure out how to improve, maybe, and driver awareness, because that's where it's at. But I think that crosswalks, because there's not a lot of people walking anymore, they're not a respected
and part of our
resource.
Our Look For Me program that we have within the Traffic Safety Division is to educate, the public, and not only the pedestrians, but also the people that are driving, to be aware of the pedestrians and the laws that there are regarding pedestrians and their rights, as walkers. So if there's any events that you have in your communities, please feel free to let me know so I could reach out to staff and we could have a presence there to provide that education and awareness for the communities that you guys live in.
You know what I would appreciate myself and for our district with Adam is that school's starting up, and our district engineer Adam Romero and Travis, they go on the air. They just talk about everything that we're doing at DOT. Maybe somewhere somewhere before school starts, because school's gonna be starting up and the people aren't used to seeing the kids out again, that maybe, you know, you could get on the radio and do some kind of awareness, and they carry it to everybody. It's a station that reaches pretty far.
Absolutely.
Because school safety with the children now, everybody's forgotten, so everybody's speeded up. The school zone lights are stopped, and everybody's not used to it anymore. So by the time we start school in about 3-4 weeks, so
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
you can speak with Adam and see what he thinks is best to get done there.
Okay, absolutely. I'll have a chat with him, and thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a
Go ahead.
question. Chairman Adams, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I could guess as to why we have higher pedestrian deaths in New Mexico and in Bernalillo County, but could you actually speak to what some of those factors might be that contribute to those, please?
In working with our partners, one of the things that we've realized is that New Mexico is not necessarily a pedestrian-friendly state in terms of the way that infrastructure was developed. So we don't, and, you know, a lot of communities don't have public transit systems. They don't have, you know, adequate sidewalks or crosswalks or things that would naturally make it safe for pedestrians to travel. So I think, you know, that's one component, is the infrastructure side. You know, but it's also kind of a behavioral thing to where, you know, individuals, you know, I'll see a lot of times they're not utilizing the crosswalks, they're, you know, sitting in the median, they're not behaving safely as a pedestrian. So I would say it's a myriad of different issues that we're facing. You know, obviously the homeless population has went up over the last, you know, 10 years, I would say. I can't, because the data that's captured doesn't capture whether or not an individual is homeless or not. We can't say for certain that, you know, that's a driving factor in the increase. But you could assume through, you know, just seeing at that many individuals that are on our streets, panhandling in the medians, you know, standing there, that is a contributing factor.
Any other questions, fellow commissioners?
Yeah, just
Yes,
one
Commissioner Taylor.
comment. The pedestrian thing is really difficult. We're so spread out, and the characteristics of crossing streets is different in practically every block. You know, the amount of traffic, visibility, and the conditions of crossing, and all of that. It's interesting in Farmington, you know, we did a downtown improvement, and we have roundabouts every other block, and it's stopped for pedestrians through the whole corridor. And it amazes me how well it works. I guess to start with, it's only 7 steps to get to the island instead of 22 like it used to be to get across the street, which of course adds considerable amount of safety to it because, you know, you simply don't have as far to go. So it doesn't take as long for pedestrians to cross. But I found it very interesting how drivers are very respectful of that stop for pedestrians through the downtown section. And so I know that there are solutions out there that'll work. Of course, you can't necessarily do that when you have a crosswalk every quarter of a mile on a major street. And that's one of the issues when you've got, you know, a 4-lane road. It's a long ways to get across there. And a lot of times pedestrians are not very respectful of time either in that process. But anyway, it's a big challenge. Appreciate the work that you do and trying to find ways to solve it because it's certainly an increasing problem for us.
Yeah, and we don't like to be, I mean, it's always awesome to be #1 in the country at something, not in pedestrian fatalities. So, you know, it's something that's concerning to us and something that, you know, we definitely know we need to address. And it's not going to be done just through traffic safety, but the partnerships that we have, not only within the department, but externally as well. Thank you, Commissioner.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Pleasure to see you again. This is Annually, we present to you a report to the state auditor regarding regional transit districts. Section 73-25-15B, NMSA 1978 requires that the Commission shall file an annual report with the state auditor concerning the activities of all active regional transit districts. The report shall detail how many districts have been created, describe their boundaries, and specify the regional transit systems that are being provided and how they are being funded. Attached as an information item is the FY 2022 report that will be sent to the state auditor in compliance with Section 73-25-15B NMSA and our own Commission Policy 90. As you know, there's 4 regional transit districts in the state. 2 of them have used their authority to go out for regional transit gross receipts tax referendum that passed back in 2008. That's Rio Metro in the Albuquerque area and North Central RTD in the Santa Fe Espanola area. The other 2 regional transit districts, one's the South Central RTD. They had a tax referendum, I believe, in 2011 that failed down in the Las Cruces area. And Southwest RTD in the Silver City area has never gone out for a referendum. But they're all regional transit districts that were certified by the Commission probably over about 10 years ago. More regional transit districts can be created in the state, and the state, as per the RTD Act and statute, would provide $250,000 for them to create a business and service plan. But there haven't been any call for, there have been discussions about it throughout the state, some sort of in the Taos area, but there haven't been any calls for a new regional transit district. And if you look at the report, you'll see that the regional transit gross receipts taxes that NCD, NCRTD, and Rio Metro have accumulated this past year is significant. Rio Metro accumulated $38 million. That's up from $32 million a year ago. So their ratables are up. A year ago, NCRTD's regional transit gross receipts tax accumulations were $9 million, and now they're up over $12 million. So that's significant increases that they use to match federal transit grant funds and use for services in their service area. With that, I'll stand for any questions, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have one. Just with regard to Rio Metro, I'm just curious. I see the $2 million from BNSF Amtrak. How is that assessed?
Sure.
Generated?
So we're the owner of New Mexico Rail Runner Express, and Amtrak and BNSF run on our lines, and they basically pay a fee, gross tonnage, by gross tonnage weight and how much they run. They pay fees based on that data, and they pay it to us, but it flows back to Rio Metro in order to pay for expenses on the rail line. And so the Commission's aware we are in the process of discussions and renegotiating some terms with those entities as well, because those agreements have been in place for a while now, and our window to renegotiate those contracts is come due.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Thank you. We
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We appreciate your time and the work you do.
I'll see you a little bit later. Thank you.
You got it. We'll move on now to staff briefing, Secretary Serna's report.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we spent 9 hours together yesterday. I think you've heard from me enough. I have a note here to say something nice about Francisco, but we've also heard enough about that already. So I'm going to move on to actually recognizing an update, a personnel update that I shared with you yesterday was that our esteemed PIO, Marissa Mays, will be leaving the DOT in about a week's time. she's here with us this morning, so I did want to just wish her the very best in her, future endeavors. Thank her for all of the work that she did building, a comms team that most agencies envy. The level of professionalism, the quality of the work, and I even think just the spirit within the team is great. It's refreshing, and I think does a lot to tell the rest of the state that DOT is a wonderful place to be. So I want to thank Marissa publicly for the work that she did. It's been a pleasure working with you. We hope that you come and visit from time to time. We hope that we can pick your brain from time to time, because you've just got a good eye for what makes sense and what works. So if everyone here will just join me in wishing you well.
On behalf of the if you would just come up here, it'd be easier, yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
On behalf of the commission, we want to thank you for all the work you did, all the innovative work you did. You came in and you started these videos and the interviews, and then you went in and redid the whole website, and then you made things a lot easier for people to access, not only our employees, but the traveling public. And so for that, we're indebted to you, and, on behalf of the commission, all we can do is wish you well. You brought an expertise and professionalism that will be here for a long, long time. And so thank you for all your hard work and your crew, because I know that a lot of this crew you brought on, and they've been nothing but professional and excellent too.
Thank you.
So we just want to wish you the very, very best. We just found out, so yeah. So we just want to say that on behalf of the commission, we appreciate you and we wish you well.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to come to state government and learn so much about transportation. I didn't know anything coming in, and everybody was so gracious and coming in with these big grand plans that hadn't been utilized before. Within the department, certainly, and all of the DEs being amazing and allowing me to take their PIOs and put them under one umbrella so we could have some consistency and do the best that I could to represent the department. I'm so grateful for all of that, and very proud of the team and what we've put together, and the PIOs specifically, the video team. There's so many, and I know some, Jake, there's a few that I would just love to have stand up for, although they're, well, I don't know where they went. Oh, they're there, okay. So Amy and Candace, who's newest to our team. And of course we have Paul and Alan and Miguel and Jake, and I think Delane is here also, Travis. So a lot of them, just incredible, the work that they've done, and I'm really, really proud of them. And I will miss everybody.
Travis was all shook up because he said that you've done a lot to not only enhance his knowledge of what he's doing, but also the support that you gave him.
Good.
So,
Marissa, for setting the bar high, thank you, and we wish you the very, very best.
Thank you.
Miguel back here has a token of your team's appreciation for all you did.
It's hard to oversell what you did for us, so thank you. It's a small token from the team for everything that you did.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
thank you. And as always, you'll always be part of the NMDOT family. So
Thank you.
feel free to come at any time. Feel free to, call us, say hi. But more importantly, we wish you the very, very best.
Thank you. I appreciate all your support. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commission.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Okay. With that, our partner from FHWA, Cindy.
Good morning.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Hi, thank
And it's
you.
always a pleasure to have you with us. you know, as we've said in the past, we're partners. It's a partnership that's been developed. Without your money, our roads can't be built. So we appreciate not only the money, but all the cooperation and the communication that we do. And so thank you and welcome on behalf of the commission.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And as part of that partnership, I don't do this, I believe I don't do this enough, but I want to recognize one of your team members, Secretary Serna, and that's Jolene Herrera. I know she's here today, and you know, there's been such an emphasis lately on August redistribution. So that's an annual call for additional funding that we work with together. And there's been a lot of focus this year with the agency wanting the states to ask more this year than in previous years. So we've had so many data calls and Congress wanting to know numbers, and Jolene has just been fantastic, and you know, helping us, you know, at the drop of a dime to get some data.
Jolene, if you'll stand up and even come forward, you know, that's what we're here is for recognition. We heard from you yesterday and we appreciated your report, but it's good that, you know, you.
Thank you all. I really appreciate the partnership that we have with our FHWA Division Office. It hasn't always been that way, and I think under Cindy's leadership, we've really turned that around and we are truly partners. It's really interesting and eye-opening to go to national conferences and learn that not all states have that partnership with their FHWA division office, and so I'm just really grateful for what we have with ours.
Thank you, and it's refreshing to come to a meeting as a commission and hear all the accolades that Francisco got, and now FHWA comes in and they're a huge partner with us. They give you accolades, and it's refreshing to us to know that our team, which we say is the best anywhere, that we got the best people working for us. And we thank you, and we thank you for being part of the NMDOT team.
So with that also, I wanted to announce Commissioner Taylor tested me earlier this morning on what does RAISE mean as part of the discretionary grants, and I had to look it up this time. So earlier, on June 28th, the Office of the Secretary of the U.S. DOT announced the 2023 RAISE grant awards. RAISE being Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity. And New Mexico received 2 grants. The first one is the City of Albuquerque. Their project, $25 million award. The project will fund architectural, engineering, permitting, right-of-way, and reconstruction of an existing 25-foot wide bus platform with an approximately 110 feet wide transit plaza located on America's Parkway between Uptown Boulevard and Indian School Road. So congratulations to the city, Commissioner. The other grant was the Rama Navajo chapter. They received a little over $21 million to fund the reconstruction of approximately 6.5 miles of BIA route number 125, a section of road that serves as the main connection for the Rama Navajo Reservation. It will feature 2 lanes, shoulders, pedestrian facilities, and 1 deceleration lane at the intersection of 125 and 144. So great to announce those and reiterate those awards. And moving on, it was nice to, you know, I hadn't seen the agenda, so I wasn't aware that Jeff was going to speak on safety, and that's what I was going to talk about today as well. Just reemphasizing, you know, the work that we're doing and the work that still needs to be done. You know, Franklin earlier mentioned about safety PSAs and us continuing to get the word out and creating that awareness and helping offset some of the behaviors that we're seeing. And Jeff showed us some data here about our traffic numbers, and we had 467, we lost 467 souls last year, down from 483 the previous year. And he kind of showed us some of the trends, and we hope that the trends are flattening out a little bit. We look forward to seeing that, not only in fatalities, but also pedestrians. As was mentioned, we are a focus state for pedestrians, and working with Jeff on our pedestrian safety action plan. But I don't want us to get used to the numbers, because they're not numbers. These are people, right? They're someone's wife, husband, child, friend, and we don't want to get numb and kind of lose the impact of how important these fatalities are to us, and making sure that we don't forget. And you might be thinking, I'm just one person, what can I do, right? Well, we can all be safety advocates, and some of us have social media accounts. We talked about Marissa coming up here earlier, and the importance of media and social media and getting the word out and creating that awareness. And, be it, don't touch and drive, don't drink and drive, distracted driving. Jeff showed us the impact of what distracted driving has done for our fatalities. And those are behaviors that we can control. Other things we can't. If there's a deer running across a road, or weather or dust storms, those are things that are out of our control, but behaviors we can control. And we definitely want to continue that emphasis area, and getting the word out, and any public service announcements and campaigns that we can do. So I want to thank the department for continuing to promote that and maintain that. So, and there's much to be done there, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, we always appreciate you coming and presenting and giving us information. I just want to say that on that note of safety, I'll end it on that, is I want to remind everybody in here, when you go back, whether it's your cruise or whatever, don't take any shortcuts. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can do to not only take care of yourself, but to take care of your family, which are your fellow workers. Watch each other's back when you're out there. Make sure that everything that you're doing, we don't know, and we can't prevent certain things, but if we've done what we've done what we're supposed to do. So don't shortcuts. Let me leave it with this. Let's have each other's back, and let's continue to work safely. And with that, we appreciate you. Later on, I'm going to hit you up at another meeting or something. I'd like for you to bring us some information, and you probably have it now, but we can get it then. I want to make sure that we're relaying to the entities all the money and funding that you have. And I don't know if it's maybe like when we have a meeting, well, everybody was here, because we had this whole place was packed.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people from cities, from counties, from villages. And maybe that would be a good time to come up and just make them aware of all that money that they could be entitled to apply for. Does that?
Yeah, absolutely. We heard from Tula Rosa Portales the need for funding, and there are those opportunities, that we can share with them.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Cindy.
Now we'll move on to 13, Secretary, request to modify TPF, project scope of work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, you have a handout in front of you. It's this one right there. You go. It'll be marked item number 13, action. I apologize for not getting it ahead of time, but we can take as much time on it as possible so that you feel comfortable with both the background and what we're trying to do. So last year, you may recall, during the TPF call for applications, there was an opportunity for local entities who had already received approval on TPF projects to submit a request that would shore up any cost overruns for those previously approved projects. And so what we did was parceled out about $13 million from our total TPF budget to allow for shoring up those projects as part of the approval of new TPF projects. And what we've heard from recently, we've heard from some communities recently who have said, hey, listen, we're still trying to make up for the cost with the cost escalations and are short some funding to finish the project as originally proposed. And so although we didn't put a process in place like we did in 2022 to allow them to come in and get support for cost overruns, we're vested obviously in making sure that those projects can get completed. And so what we're requesting is the authority from the commission to leverage the 2024 application process to support these local entities who can't complete the projects due to escalations. And let me tell you how we're thinking about doing this. What we would essentially encourage the entities to do is phase the project that they've already been approved for. And then essentially leverage whatever funding they do have to get through whatever phase of the project they can get done with the resources they already have available. Then in 2024, they would essentially submit an application to complete any subsequent phases, all right? And so what we've done is the legwork to determine if we have the authority to do that at the agency or if that authority rests at the commission. And you'll see here in the handout that I provided you, we've essentially have seen that the commission has the authority not only to approve these projects, but any subsequent changes to those projects as necessary. And so to avoid having to come to you all every single time a community comes and says, hey, we have phased this project, this is how much we can get done with what you've given us, and this is what we would need to get done in the future, we're asking for some approval to grant these changes to scope of work as phased approaches to the originally approved project. And so what we're presenting to you here is the motion to grant me the authority to approve TPF deviations for local entities that can demonstrate a financial inability to complete the scope of work as presented at the time of initial commission consideration, provided that the local entity submit the following in its request to the secretary: the original cost estimates or engineer estimates, the bids received for the approved TPF scope, the proposed scope modifications and phased approach, with a condition that the nature of the original project cannot be changed, and the estimated cost difference to finish the project. And what we would do is evaluate those requests, approve them with this authority, and then submit a report to the commission no later than October 30th of those approvals. And this would give you a glimpse of what type of subsequent TPF requests would come in to kind of finish the original scope of those projects. And so that's in a nutshell, commissioners, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
On these projects, I think that the timeline, and I don't know, is like 3 years. So let's say we award them the money this year, then they have 3 years. And I'm wondering if that doesn't have to be revisited also, because what I'm seeing is that some of the entities, for whatever reasons, are not being able to get to some of these projects for 2 to 3 years, which means that the costs have escalated, materials, labor, the whole 9 yards. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's good to take a look at it with your team and discuss it to see if 3 years is viable, or if we need to do something, because I would assume if you're applying for funds that you're ready to hit the ground running.
Mr. Chairman, that's a good point. I'm going to kind of two things. One is, yesterday you heard from Tisha Clark about some of the training that we're providing to the locals, right, to ensure that they have the capacity and understanding and knowledge to get these projects up the ground quickly. And I think that's going to be important more than anything, is to get the locals ready to do the projects more quickly rather than to give them more time to do them. A perfect example of how that can be a little yucky is capital outlay, right? The idea that capital outlay can be reauthorized over and over and over again gets locals sometimes in this mode, right, that, you know, we'll get to it, we'll get to it, we'll get to it. And so we don't want to be in that process where, you know, we can extend some of these projects out for 4 or 5 years. What I would like to see is how we can kind of consolidate the TPF process so that we can get shovels in the ground closer to when we're getting these estimates on the project. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's just say, you guys know the schedule. We go out for a call for proposals in March, April, and then we go and vet them over the course of the summer, and then we bring them to you all by August, which we'll do next month. Then we get them all the money out the door by September, October, okay? So if you go back to before March, April, these locals are getting estimates on those projects in December and January, right? And we're giving them the money in 10 months from then. And if those projects are up north and they are shovel ready, they're not doing anything with them until, you know, the following, you know, March, April, which means that at that point, the estimates are more than a year old. And so there's just a high likelihood that there's going to be a lot of cost overruns or budget shortfalls. So I'd like for us to kind of collapse the process. I still want it to be inclusive and comprehensive, but if we could even get to the point where we get these, the final recommendations to you all, you know, by even by May, June, July, something sooner than August, then we'd be able to give them a little bigger window to start those projects before the winter months. So I think we have a role in making sure they can get these things done quickly.
Yeah, and I think the key word in there, and I think what the entities are understanding now is that DOT is requiring that they do be shovel ready, and that they're not putting in projects that they're estimating, but they really don't have a clue about. So I think that shovel ready is the one that works.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner Taylor.
Secretary, sure I'm clear on this. 13 million that's been set aside, has that already been spent? And is it, we're talking about money above the 13 million?
Good question. So, Commissioner, the 13 million was part of the background. That's what we did last year, right? So last year, we carved out 13 million to help. We knew that cost escalations had come, that hit us quickly, right? This year, we didn't carve anything out, all right? And so instead of carving anything out, because last year the commission was clear that we were gonna peel that 13 million away for 1 year only, right? And so because locals were aware we had done that last year, this year they're coming and saying, hey, could you help some of us again, okay? And because we didn't peel anything off, and because technically DOT doesn't have the authority without the commission to allow them to modify and scale their projects, we're kind of getting that blanket approval with condition.
That's what I'm, thank you for the answer.
And do we have and you can let everybody know what our number is for these projects this year for, I think it ended up being, was it 64, 67 million?
Mr. Chair, I think it came to a little over 65 million.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? We have a motion from Commissioner Taylor to approve a request to modify TPF project scopes of work. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second from Commissioner Chenoweth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now it goes to finance reports, and we'll start with Mallory.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Have you guys heard the rumor going around about butter?
Butter?
Never mind, I shouldn't spread it.
I know you didn't get that one from Commissioner Taylor.
I have another one. How do you measure a snake? Not in inches, in inches because they don't have feet.
No, that one you did get from him.
All right.
Thank you.
Today I will be presenting on FY23. So as of June 30th, we closed FY23. However, we still are in the process of finalizing the closeout of that fiscal year. So I will be presenting on numbers. They are not finalized as we are still receiving revenue. So if you see On column F, line number 14, we have received $988.3 million in revenue. Column F, line number 23, we have spent $993.3 million. So we have spent a little bit more than what we've received in revenue. However, we still have 2 more months of revenue to receive, and we are still tracking to receive as we anticipated at the beginning of the fiscal year. And this is for State Road Fund. On the next page is our restricted revenue. Column F, line number 23, we've received $118.1 million in restricted revenue. We spent about $76.8 million. So on this situation, we've received more revenue than what we have spent. And again, we have still 2 months to collect revenue for FY23. On the next page, this is our cash position as of June 30th, and we compare June of 2022 versus June of 2023. The first one is the State Road Fund. We are seeing a decrease of $11.4 million in cash for State Road Fund, and we're seeing an increase of $62.6 million of restricted revenue. And that's a total about a $51.2 million in cash overall if we compare this year to last year. This is not concerning. It just shows that we're probably spending money faster than what we were spending this time last year. Okay. And then the last page I have for you is, the last page I have for you is our fund balance. And this is what I'm showing that we will have in our savings account at the end of fiscal year 23. So if you look on line number 7, the last column, we're showing about a $53.2 million gain, or not gain, savings for State Road Fund. And we have about a $15.9 million in restricted revenue fund balance for a total of $69.1 million. What this does, this will allow the department to utilize that $53 million for future projects that will be coming forth in FY24. And that, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that's all I have, and I stand for any questions.
My only question that I have, you're happy with the budget and you think we're in good shape?
So far, no concerns, yes.
Okay, any other questions from my fellow commissioners?
All righty, thank you.
So with that, we appreciate your update and we'll let your staff know we appreciate all their work.
Perfect, thank you.
Next, Mark Lovato. Hello, Mark.
Mr. Chairman, how are you?
Good, good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's been a while. How are you, Commissioners? Good morning. I'm going on to page 100, at the top of the page. Right before your debt service payment, which was on June 15th, we held $153.6 million. You did make your semi-annual payment on June 15th. That totaled $152.4 million. So we carried over $627,000 towards your debt service to the next fiscal year. Right underneath that chart, we have 2 project accounts for you. We have $226 million in your 2021A bond series. There was a draw of a little over $20 million in June on that fund. We also have almost $7 million out of your 2014 bond series. At the bottom of the page, there's also a line of credit that we hold for your BNSF escrow requirement. It's in the amount of $50 million. We paid $24,000 for your commitment fee, which is paid quarterly. Since this line of credit has been put in place, which is now at 10 years, you've paid $832,000 for that line of credit. Going on to the next page. As I mentioned, you had debt service payment on June 15th, which totaled $152 million. That came to $130.5 million in principal, $21.8 million in interest, which brings your total for the fiscal year of almost $171 million that was paid in debt service. Going on to the next page. On the very left-hand side, you'll see you have outstanding debt of $742.7 million. And you have an interest-only payment coming up in December, which will total $18.6 million. And with that, can we stand for any questions?
Same question for you. You're happy with the portfolio?
It's doing extremely well. You will be you will have 90% of your debt at this point paid down in about 7 years.
Perfect. Any
Great,
other
great position.
questions, comments from fellow commissioners? If not, we appreciate you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we're going to move on to the budget adjustment requests. David Harris. If it's agreeable to my fellow commissioners, what I like to do is listen to all five. Just go through all five and then just approve them. There'll be a motion to approve each one after the presentations, and we can do them all in one motion. Is that fine? Okay, Commissioner Taylor? Okay. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Most of these bars are due to the large amount of the first wave of COVID funding that transit received in the country. We are 100% obligated on those funds, that first wave, and I think only about 2% of it is unspent at this point. We're waiting for the final bills to roll in. Some of that delay is due to supply chain issues with delivery of vehicles. There's been a huge delay in delivery of transit buses. So a lot of these are the second and third rounds of funding, little dribs and drabs, and other discretionary funding we've been awarded because we've been successful in applying for discretionary funding with FTA, as well as successful in applying for alternative funding from the state that was transferred to FTA. Federal highway money was transferred to FTA for transit purposes because it's flexible funds, and we administer those funds with our rural transit program. So that's the general gist of all of these, but I'll go through them one by one if you allow me to. Bar number 4, this bar is required to increase the budget authority in federal grants and services to the Transit Bureau of $680,826. The funds will be used for FTA's Enhanced Mobility for Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities, Section 5310 program, and about half of the funds are from the American Relief Plan Act, which is the second wave of COVID funds, and about half is the CRISA funds, Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act. That's bar number 4. Bar number 5, increase the budget authority in the Transit Bureau's federal grants and services by $3.5 million. These funds are FTA FY 2021 bus and bus facility formula funds, apportioned to the state for purchasing transit vehicles and renovating, maintaining, and constructing transit facilities. It's one of the discretionary grants that we were successful with. And all of these grants are federal funds, so they're 100% reimbursable. That's number 5. Number 6, increase the budget authority in professional services for the Transit Bureau by $400,000. These are federal funds, 100% reimbursable, and these are from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, and they're eligible and utilized to pay for our New Mexico DOT park and ride operating expenses for the services we oversee and run in the northern and southern parts of the state. Bar number 7, to increase the budget authority for federal grants and services in the Transit Bureau of $347,087. These are American Relief Plan Act funds to the state for the small urban areas, and this is for North Central Regional Transit District, who operates in Santa Fe, which is a small urban area, and those are eligible to pay for NCRTD expenses in the small urban portion of the funding program. That was bar number 7. Bar number 8, I believe the final bar, is to increase the budget authority, federal grants and services for the Transit Bureau by $922,752. These were federal highway, federal transit alternative program funds, flex to the Federal Transit Administration, to administer on behalf of North Central Transit Regional Transit District to implement its Americans with Disability Compliance Plan. So it's for the implementation of ADA accessible bus stops and streets located next to bus stops. With that, I stand for questions, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Approval of bar 6, park and ride. Action item, approval of bar 7, small urban. And action, approval of bar number 8, Americans with the Disabilities Compliance. What is your recommendation?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I didn't know you were going through all of them. I knew we were going to do them all at once, but I certainly recommend approval of the bars as presented.
Fellow commissioners, you've heard the recommendation from the secretary. Is there any questions, anything? If not, do I have a motion? I have a motion from Commissioner Taylor, right?
Okay. Second?
I have a second by Commissioner Tangis. And so it is for New Mexico, and I'm going to read them one more time just for the record, and I don't enjoy. For the action item, approval of budget adjustment, bar number 4. Action item, approval of bar number 5, purchase transit vehicles. Action item, approval of Park 6, the park and ride. Action item, approval of bar 7, small urban. And action item, approval of bar number 8, Americans with Disability Compliance. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was easier, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. So now with that, we're going to move on to proposed amendments to Commission Policy 22, and we'll have our legal counsel come up, Steve Hamilton. And I'll let you go ahead and go through, these are all proposals, they're not action items, correct?
They're not, that's
And-
right. The
and
process,
so-
as I understand it, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, is that we have a first reading of these,
Okay.
these policies for the commission meeting before they are put up as an action item for adoption, so that the commission would have time to review them thoroughly.
So if it's all right with you, I'll let you do A and B both. You can finish A and jump to B.
Sure. Okay. Both of these are, as the commission knows, commission policy number 4 has a sundown provision for all commission policies. They are only in effect for 5 years, and then they have to be reviewed by the commission and either rejected or amended. With these, there are some minor amendments that we're proposing to the language of CP 22, Commission Policy 22, and Commission Policy, 66. And as you can see, we've given you a red line version plus a clean version. As you can see, it's merely some cleanup language for these matters. There's no substantive change to either one of these policies. And so we're just submitting these to you for your consideration at this time. They'll be brought before you as an action item in the Angel Fire meeting 2 months from now. Any questions, anything further
Any
from the
questions,
commission?
comments, fellow
Chairman?
commissioners? And if it's possible, I would like to get the proposed amendments, the changes or whatever. We can get them whenever you're done with them, so there's time enough. I mean, we have 2 months, but enough time to review.
Certainly, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll do that. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for the work you do for us. With that, we're going to go to an action item. And aviation, Pedro, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This action item C is a rule that we have already published. We came for permission to publish the rule, follow all the procedures, had all the necessary hearings. And what the rule does is it gives the aviation division flexibility in marketing funding. Under the old rule, we had to have a match of 50%. It's not required by the statute, but we had a 50% match requirement by the cities and towns that had air services. Under the change, which is consistent with the statute, what happens is it gives us much more flexibility. We can go and pay as much as 100% to the marketing, or the cities can pay more than half if they like. It's a matter of need as to whatever it is that they need for their particular air service. That is the change that we would like for you to approve. We've done all the necessary publications for your approval. It goes into the state registry and becomes law. Any questions?
Okay, is there any questions, comments from fellow commissioners? Commissioner Tanji is, no? Okay. With that, do I have a motion for final rulemaking regarding the repeal of Rule 18.11.3 NMAC Air Services Assistance Program, replacing with Rule 18.11.3 NMAC Air Service Marketing Assistance Program?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chenoweth.
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Tanjis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do we have your recommendation, Secretary? Yeah. And for the record, it was through the recommendation of Secretary Serna. With that, it passed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you, thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Commissioners.
And now is everybody's favorite time of the meeting. We've been here for 3 days. I think it's time to head out, and it's almost the weekend, and go do some family stuff and other stuff. Before we end the meeting, I'd like to give a shout out again to Rio Doso, the city of Rio Doso. What a beautiful place, and for all the hospitality that we were shown. And it's always a pleasure to come into places where we're appreciated, because we appreciate it. And so with that, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at approximately 12:05?
I will make that motion,
I
Chairman.
have a motion from Commissioner Chenoweth. Do I have a second? We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now officially adjourned.